Hey guys, James here again. This is gonna be what if Naruto was the biggest prodigy in history. You know, this what if took me a lot of time to do. Like, I made a thumbnail like a month ago, but I was trying to like research on like how to, on like certain nature releases, certain ninjutsu, then going in depth on the ninjutsu, just to make sure I don't mess up any of the powers I want Naruto to have. So, spoiler alert for some powers in the future. Naruto will be able to like basically use powers to say the six paths, probably by the time the time skip starts or by the time the time skip ends. So Naruto is going to be basically be a god. You can tell by the picture on the right. Naruto's going to have KCM by the time he's like 6 or 7, so pretty fast. But I'm start the what if now. So, let's start this off when Naruto is around 3 years old. When he's 3, Hyugen had actually kicked Naruto out, as Naruto ended up like he pulled a lot of pranks, and a lot of the villagers were pretty pissed off at Naruto to the point where they were marching to the third's house to yell at Naruto. The third would give Naruto his own house, so Konohamaru isn't born yet, just so the point that Asuma isn't disturbed there, and so that Hyugen isn't disturbed, and just so yeah, so Hyugen gives Naruto his own house, and Naruto will keep pulling pranks until one day he's running away from tons of Jonin, Chunin, and Genin. Like, they sent ninja after Naruto. Eventually, some of the Genin catch up to Naruto, and as soon as one of them gets close enough, Naruto in an instant would spin and kick the Genin across the face, grab the other one, hit him in the nose, and then jump over him and kick the other one down to the ground. Naruto didn't realize what he just did. That was just pretty high level taijutsu for someone that's 3 years old. Naruto eventually jumped into the trees and was able to hide. And just happened that some Jonin were standing under some bamboo looking for Naruto, and Naruto kicked it over with insane strength that basically Naruto shouldn't be able to do that. He kicked it over and hit the Jonin in the back, breaking some of their bones. So as it landed on the Jonin, Naruto would just keep running until he eventually hides under a few trees near the Hyuga compound. As Naruto hides, he looks into the compound, thinking he could use a show. And Naruto would end up seeing that there's a girl who's coming back. And Kiyoshi's bringing a girl back from the woods. Naruto would peek in, seeing the girl was kind of crying and sad, and Naruto looked into the woods, seeing 2 dead shinobi. Naruto is shocked, as he just hides, and Naruto will eventually just look at Hiyashi, as Hiyashi would yell to Hyuga, "Here's how my daughter get kidnapped. All of you train until you drop. This should be your lesson. Get stronger until you learn and to use your Byakugan when you sleep. Just make sure this doesn't happen again." A lot of Hyuga, like tuning in up, all run out, so start training again, and Naruto would watch. As one of them he keeps his eye on, as that's Hisashi Hyuga. Hisashi, he's kind of forced to get up, as he's basically his branch basically protects the main branch. So Yashi would have Neji get up too, and they'd be in training. Naruto would see how they train, and Naruto would realize they all stop training at like 7 a.m. and it's like 12 a.m. at this point. But Naruto would go to the nearby training ground, and he then begins trying out some techniques. He's not as efficient, but he trains in the Hyuga techniques for around 2 years until he's around six. So he's like 5 years old. By the time he's 5, Naruto has already grown strong physically and an insane amount. Also grew faster, and his body actually having to pick up like how to use the Hyuga techniques. His body already adapted to being a really good sentry ninja without him using chakra to sense. Like, his eyes, they grew a wider distance, like they're able to see a wider distance and farther away. His ears pick up sounds better. Also, Naruto's able to do some of the Hyuga taijutsu pretty well, all the way to the point where some Jonin games stand a chance. Naruto will walk into the compound, bow before Hiyashi, and ask, can he spar with some of the Hyuga? Hiyashi will question why Naruto wants to, even though he's very little, and Naruto brings up the incident 2 years ago. He had got there as Hiyashi brought back Hinata, and then he had stopped the Hyuga training, and Naruto began copying their techniques off memory. That was Naruto actually basically, he memorized their techniques. He memorized it. Like muscle memory, he memorized it. Hiyashi would doubt this, but he gives Naruto like a Genin this bargains. This Genin isn't edgy, but they're pretty good in taijutsu. This Genin rolls at Naruto, as Naruto knows Hiyashi taking him lightly. As the Genin even takes one step, Naruto appears in front of him, doing multiple Hyuga style techniques until the Genin's unconscious and coughing up blood. Hiyashi would see that Naruto's not joking. He memorized their techniques. Hiyashi then just kind of like starts sweating and is pretty nervous that if a 5-year-old can copy their techniques, he doesn't know what other villagers can do. Like what other experienced shinobi can do. He sends out Jonin for Naruto, hoping this Jonin will kill him. But this Jonin has to be equal match for Naruto, and because they knock and like Naruto will go for a palm strike against his heart, the Jonin will go for a palm strike against Naruto's gut, turns probably like rupture an appendix or something. But their attacks collide, and it sends them. Well, they don't collide, but both attacks land, and each other flying back, and Naruto coughs up blood. While Jonin ends up almost having his heart pierced, but his ribs are broken pretty badly. Naruto would actually stand up, though shockingly, as the Nine Tails, he saw what Naruto can do. Like if Naruto grows stronger, he might be able to suppress the Sage. He knows the Sage would take a while to copy these techniques, longer than Naruto. So he's healing Naruto just out of respect. So Naruto stands up saying, "Alright, that hurt a bit." He actually looks at Naruto saying, "How'd you get up that fast? That technique should have at least pierced your stomach. But it didn't pierce you, but it should have knocked you out since it didn't pierce you." Naruto says, "I don't know. I just felt something kill me, so I stood up." Alright, so Hiyashi the next day would bring up a meeting with his civilian council, plus like the clan heads, and brings up saying, here's a question why Hiyashi's so nervous, because Hiyashi's scared of Naruto. If Naruto copied their techniques to that level at 5, what can Naruto do when he's 7, 8, 9? Hiyashi's he thinks by the time Naruto's 10, he might be able to take down the whole Hyuga clan single-handedly, which he will be able to. I can tell you that right now. But he's not going to do it. Hiyashi brings up the fact that Naruto copied Hyuga-style techniques perfectly. And Hyuga doubts this until Hiyashi drags in the still unconscious Jonin that Naruto basically put into a coma just through how hard Naruto hit him. Hiyashi says, "Naruto did this to one of my most high-level Jonin with one strike. All the other attacks were Naruto blocking or dodging, while Naruto, with one of the only serious attacks he launched, put him in a coma. How can he do that with one attack?" Hyuga doesn't know what to say as he recognizes that Jonin. And the hit mark, where the area where it showed that the Jonin was hit on his shirt, pretty scuffled up, plus there's a little bit of blood on it. And I tell, the handprint's too small to be an adult, and the only person that could probably do that is a child. And when the children when the children the Hyuga knows has insane strength, speed, plus prowess for taijutsu, Naruto. Yes, Hyuga had heard about what Naruto did those genin, and he already seen that Naruto might be really good at taijutsu just from evading people. Eventually, Hyuga would just tell Hiyashi, if you want Naruto to be your ally and not come back and challenge you and kill or knock out more of your Jonin or basically Hyuga, why don't you accept him in and have him spar with you? Just try to train him up to the point where he's already perfected it. Hiyashi wants to say no until the civilian council agrees it's the safest way for Naruto to not basically annihilate the Hyuga. Eventually, Hiyashi has to agree, and a few days later, Hiyashi invites Naruto to the compound to train. He has Naruto train against Hinata and Neji, and Naruto. Well, Neji, this one, I'm pretty sure Neji's older than Naruto in canon. Let me pause. Alright, so Neji at this point, Naruto is 5, Neji's around 7 years old. So, as Naruto looks at Neji, saying, do you really think you can beat me? Neji hasn't heard what Naruto did, but Hinata has. Hinata is kind of shaking as Neji's questioning why. As Yashiden says, Naruto, you're not to knock them out, you're to teach them your powers. Neji hadn't heard what you did, but all he knows is you're the talk of Hyuga right now. Hinata knows what you did, so I request that you don't kill her. Naruto would nod, saying, "Alright, I'll try not to." Neji would try Naruto, thinking he might not be anything special, until Naruto would appear above Neji, talking back the neck, knocking him out. Naruto would land in front of Hinata, and then he kind of just bows, saying, "I'll allow you to have the first strike." Naruto goes for a punch, which Naruto would dodge. He keeps going for attacks as Naruto keeps dodging, until eventually Naruto would grab her arm and put it in the right direction. Naruto, he's not really fighting Hinata at this point. If she messes up a form, Naruto grabs her arm, puts it in the correct form. The point where Hinata actually starts using perfect taijutsu. But eventually, when she starts using perfect taijutsu, Naruto hits her on the gut, sending her flying into a wall, knocking her out. Naruto would say, "Alright, now what was I called here for? Because you met me with children. What else do I need to do?" Ashi would say, just to make sure that wasn't a fluke in the fight. But Naruto, from today on, you'll be trained under me. Naruto nods saying, okay. Actually, then Naruto can use chakra yet? Naruto would say he can't, but his eyes see farther and a wider distance. Plus, his hearing is pretty good. Agent Jump catching kunai, saying, like that, I heard that coming the moment it was pulled from a pouch. He threw it right back at the Jonin that threw it at him, and it's Jonin right in the shoulder. Actually, Shuckle saying, that one wasn't an order on me. I did order someone to try and stab you, but not assassinate you from the bushes. Naruto says, oh yeah, that guy. I knocked him out on the way from my house. Actually, just sighs, saying, alright, guess I do have to train you. Now, we're going to go over how to use chakra first. And we're going to actually do a time skip, the point where Naruto, not the point, but Naruto had ended up learning how to infuse chakra in his arms and legs to enhance his strength and speed, plus how to walk on trees, walls, water. All that basic stuff. And Naruto began training with Hiyashi for those 2 months too. And eventually, once Naruto had learned to enhance his strength and speed, that's when Naruto began physical training with Hiyashi. Eventually, Hiyashi he outmatched Naruto physically in terms of strength, but in terms of speed, went to Naruto. Technique, Naruto and Hiyashi were they're neck and neck, but Hiyashi had a slight advantage. But by the time the 2 months are up, Naruto can already beat Hiyashi and took him down. Now, some Hyuga are actually debating to make Naruto the clan head, even though he's not a Hyuga. But Naruto would say, he doesn't really want to be a clan head. More or less, he wants to be like the clan head of the Uzumaki clan. Even though there's not many buildings for the Uzumaki in the Hidden Leaf, he wants to become the clan head, just so that the people know the clan isn't dead. If they want to, they can be restored. Now, because of this, with this fact, he actually brought this up to Hiruzen, saying some Hyuga were thinking that Naruto should become the Hyuga clan head, despite not being a Hyuga. But Naruto made a new idea that he should become the clan head of the Uzumaki clan. Hiruzen actually agrees with this, saying, yeah, sure, I'll call him in a few minutes. Now, the only reason it didn't take a few minutes is Hiruzen's writing multiple letters, each and every nation, and sending them out by bird. If you have any Uzumakis in your village, send them here, because we have buildings reestablishing the Uzumaki. They even have a clan head. So eventually, by the time the letters are sent out, the only village that would say no is Iwa, and it's the Iwa and Kumo. Those are two villages that say no. Ame Gakure and Tsunagakure, if we find a new Uzumaki, we'll send them your way. More they're just doing that to the fact that the Hidden Leaf is stronger than them. Kumo doesn't care, or Iwa just hates Konoha. But yeah. Now eventually these letters have reached outside of the villages, and they reach the hidden grass where Karin and her mother were. Karin's mother still about to die, but this time Karin will get the letter and actually tell her mother about it. Her mother's actually shocked that there's other Uzumaki. We're actually going to go to Nagato. Nagato is already in Akatsuki, and when the letters had reached the hidden rain, just so much Shinobi was traveling, and he had died on the way in. But Nagato read the letter, he read it, and was shocked. His eyes widened as he started shaking a bit. Konoha would ask Nagato what's wrong, and he then says, I thought I was the last of my people. Konoha reads the letters and being shocked, saying, you have a clan head now. Nagato would nod profusely, saying, I guess so. And, wait, let me check the timeline real quick. Alright, so, since Nagato at this point would probably not be able to move, Yahiko, who's Pain's using his body as a vessel, Pain would begin nodding profusely as he would speak to Konan. Konan then says, should we try to check it out or send someone of the Pains to spy on the village just to make sure it's not a joke? And Yahiko, Nagato, in fear of his clan just being disgraced, would say, yeah, I'll send out one of the Pains. So they send out Yahiko's corpse, actually knowing that no villagers would probably mess with Hidden Rain at this point. So they send out Yahiko's corpse to spy on the Hidden Leaf. Now Yahiko, Pain was thinking through Yahiko's eyes, and eventually sees that, it's a kid as a clan head. Yahiko's about to destroy the Hidden Leafers for making him angry, so he realizes the kid is actually really smart. The kid begins going throughout all Uzumaki houses that Hiruzen gave him the address to, and Naruto begins actually just pulling out scrolls, and Yahiko's seeing that Naruto's using chakra pretty proficiently, by storing scrolls inside scrolls, or just going through different ninjutsu pretty well. Eventually, Naruto would summon some of the Pain corpse back, and eventually by the time Yahiko's corpse arrives, He tells Conan the clan head is a child, but the child is ridiculously intelligent from what I saw. So I don't want to imagine his strength. Conan would nod, saying, "All right. If the boy is as you say, you might need to inform Madara. We will not be forming the Akatsuki." And not would agree, but says, actually, I have a plan. The whole goal of the Akatsuki now was to conquer every tailed beast. And that boy was just emitting a dangerous amount of chakra, so I can assume he's a Jinchuriki. So, when it comes for me, or Madara to get the boy, if it comes to Madara trying to get him, I will interfere. If it comes to me trying to get him, I will ally ourselves with the Hidden Leaf. Konan would nod, saying, I can go along with that. So Nagito would nod, saying, "All right, now we wait. Now we kind of hold out." But he actually does what Conan would learn some form of healing ninjutsu, so his body can have a little bit more mobility. Conan would actually amplify her paper with healing ninjutsu when she learned how to use it. But in time, Naruto would learn Uzumaki seals. And Naruto, Uzumaki clan doesn't live in the main base of Konoha. He lives on the outskirts of Konoha, far away from the village. The point where it's basically his village, his clan area part of the village gate. That's how far away it is. But actually pretty close to the Uchiha compound, and the Uchiha issued to pay a visit to Naruto, acknowledging how strong he is. And so then Naruto actually, as a clan head, he wants to meet Fugaku, and Naruto bows in front of him, asking that he and Naruto both borrow some scrolls to learn fire style and fire style jutsu or lightning style jutsu. And Fugaku would ask why, asking don't Uzumakis have that? But Naruto explains the Uzumaki were mainly proficient in water and earth and seals. There's not a lot of earth release scrolls, but mainly seals, sealing, and water. So Fugaku would grab as much scrolls as he can, giving that are based on there aren't not as much as he can, some scrolls are based on fire, lightning, and he throws them to Naruto. And there's one scroll that involves sealing. That was not extremely powerful, but it's sealing nonetheless. Naruto not thinking thinking Fugaku, and Fugaku would say no problem. Naruto's about to walk out until tons of Uchiha police surround Naruto. Fugaku's question what they're doing until they say, "This boy is a clan head. I don't believe it. We're gonna fight him." And Naruto would say, "If you guys want to, you guys can fight me. But just know, if I die, not if I die, if you guys die, it's your fault. But if I do die, the Uchiha might be under attack by every shinobi in the Hidden Leaf Village." As the Uchiha probably know that's true. It's not just a very valuable asset. But one of the Uchiha police force members rushes Naruto, and the moment he moves, Naruto appears right next to him, and it's so fast that the person charging on him can't even perceive it. Naruto stops him across the face, sending him flying to a wall, and the rest of them rush at Naruto. As Naruto has a hard time evading older techniques, but ones that do land, Naruto's taking hits to his body on purpose until he realizes all their patterns in fighting. He's able for Naruto to counter all their attacks eventually, and some of the kids are actually nervous for Naruto until they realize that Fugaku realized it immediately. But once Naruto got used to all the patterns in fighting, Naruto took them all down with ease. Because Naruto would go for an attack at the point where it was similar to their technique, and they knew how to beat it. But Naruto would find a quick counter to their attack that was coming, and he was able to beat them. So that's how easy Naruto was doing it. But eventually, Naruto took them all down, despite them having Sharingan activated. And Fugaku saw that all of Naruto's wounds were healing, as he was punching him in the face a few times, and there's pretty bad bruising. But Fugaku would bow, saying, "Thank you for putting my men in their place. Now it's my turn to do it to them." So once Naruto leaves, real quick. All right, so Naruto would go back to the Uzumaki compound, and he begins learning some of the sealing techniques. There's a large training area for shinobi, and Naruto begins training there. And eventually Naruto will unlock his adamantine chains, but they can't seal yet. They can only attack. So Naruto's been around a year trying to mold them perfectly. Point where Naruto's aren't an orangish color. More or less they're like a deep red. Just to indicate that Naruto's tail beast chakra is tied to them. And Naruto's forcefully using it without realizing. But during those 2 years, the Uchiha Massacre does happen. But the coup isn't really in place. They have an ally in him that they can call on. So, once the Uchiha Massacre was indicated, more or less that this is acted upon by Dando's Anbu. But these Anbu were wearing different outfits. They transformed into ninja from different villages. They transformed their outfits into ninja from different villages. And Chisui was still murdered. And once every Uchiha is dead, they're using the same weapons that Itachi has, so they pin the murders on Itachi. And since the Uchiha actually weren't planning a coup this time because they have an ally in the Hidden Leaf that doesn't hate them, and plus, if they can call upon Naruto to vouch for them, and they do, because everyone trusts Naruto. Not everyone, but a lot of people trust Naruto because of how much good he does in the village. If people need help, he'll help them for no reason. He'll help them. So, Uchiha Massacre happens. Naruto and Sasuke are the only people that attend the funerals. Just Naruto and Sasuke. Sasuke would ask Naruto, who do you think did this? And that's what Naruto says. Well, so far they're pinning it on Itachi. Sasuke would be a little disappointed in that, saying, well, I know it wasn't him. Naruto would say, most likely it wasn't him, but he most likely knows who did it. That's why they pinned it on him. Sasuke would realize that makes a little bit of sense. Yes, Naruto, can you train me? Naruto looks Sasuke dead in his eyes and says, no. Sasuke questions why, Naruto then says, 1, he pulls out like a giant bag from beside him, he hands it to Sasuke, saying, these are full of lightning, basically jutsu from every nature. Come to me when you master those. Then there's a few seals in there. Once you master those too, then I'll consider training you. But master everything that comes to jutsu in the Uchiha library. Now, go. You put Sasuke to get moving, and Sasuke would agree. Now, Naruto can use wind, water, and fire. He can't use earth. He can't use earth and lightning, but he does know multiple jutsu from it. But he didn't try to learn the jutsu yet, and he can do basically every Uzumaki skill we know of. Because he already has the sealing chains. He doesn't know the hand sense of Death Seal, and knows he can probably do it, but doesn't want to try it on anything. And the 8-trigram seal, which is you seal objects or people's spirits, so something like that. And the healing bite, Naruto does have that. And then the Uzumaki seal, basically you seal anything that's above the inscription. We saw Ashina Uzumaki do this. Also during these 2 years, there's Karin and her mother were on the run from the Hidden Grass Village, so they have to lay very low. But eventually, a week after the funeral of the Uchiha, Naruto would go to the village gates just because Izumo Kotetsu called Naruto there. And Naruto would arrive. When he arrives, he would see 2 women there. These women, one of them looks very frail. The other one looks pretty. Well, they're both pretty frail. But one of them has some bite marks on their arm. The other one has a few, not a lot, but yeah. Naruto already knows what this is, as he's done it on himself and a few Uchiha. So she grabs both of them, saying, "All right, follow me, come on." They nod as Naruto brings them to the Uzumaki compound. It's a letter here saying, there's some Uzumaki here now, but they're in the compound. I don't want them to be can't talk to you at this point. They're very weak. So Hiruzen can grant this message, can grant that wish, and yeah. Now Karin and her mother will begin talking to Naruto, and they ask Naruto, why does the child plan head? But Naruto explains that he's Jonin level despite being 7. But it shocks them. Naruto begins filling them up with tons of food that they've never had before, as they've only been used as tools to heal. They barely get good food. Once Naruto gives them a lot of food, they've been eating wild animals, which Naruto already eats like one, so he doesn't really care. He talks to Karin for a bit, and he finds out Karin's pretty nice. But Karin also has a bit of damage, as Karin can't heal herself by biting herself, and neither can Karin's mother. They can't heal each other. Naruto pulls out his arm, Karin's mother will bite down, and so will Karin. They begin healing slowly, and that's what Naruto will say. Alright, you guys heal enough? They nod quickly, saying thank you. And Naruto feels something very, very familiar about Karin. And that would be he's sensing her Uzumaki chains. Karin's mother doesn't have it, but he senses the healing bite in her too. By the time they finish eating, and after a few days of them being perfectly fine, Naruto... We have to pause real quick. So Naruto begins after a month of them resting, sitting steadily and peacefully. Karin's mother... I'm gonna call her Karin's mother to this part, and let me find a good thing real quick. So Karin's mother is going to be named Isha. So Isha and Karin are going to basically ask Naruto, can you display your power to us, just to make sure that we're not being fooled at your joining level. Naruto would agree. It's been one month. He's had enough time to learn more Earth-style jutsu, and he begins displaying some Uzumaki seals plus the chains. Isha is actually very impressed with Naruto, thinking he's a beast. And then Naruto begins showing her wind style, water style, and earth style. So, she already declares Naruto a very strong user of Uzumaki ninjutsu. And she actually begins telling Karin has like the chakra to use Uzumaki chains, but she doesn't know how to use them. Can you teach her? Naruto would agree to teach Karin Uzumaki chains, and even teaching her for the basis of another month. Karin, this month, with Naruto's teaching her, she's doing really well. Naruto would teach her like how to use the attacking chains, and how to teach her use healing. Karin's mother would also learn some Uzumaki jutsu, but Naruto tells her to stay away from Reaper Death Seal. Stay away from it. She's not allowed to use it. So that's like the one rule of the Uzumaki clan. Only clan heads can have access to the Reaper Death Seal. So yeah. And Naruto begins like wrapping bandages around Karin and Isha's arms, just like they know like the healing bite will not be used by you anymore unless I say it's okay, because you've used it too much. Like Karin's mother would have used it a little more, she would die. So Isha gets like the basis of it, and Naruto would heal her for a bit just so her body can get back to normal. Now Hyushin has met Isha and Karin, and they're official Hidden citizens. But Naruto does not go to the academy. He just basically Hyushin will send Naruto scrolls, and that's where Naruto reads from. Karin is sent to the academy though, and Isha is just trained to be a proper ninja by Naruto. But when fast forward to when Naruto and Karin are 10, Isha, I don't care how old she is. So Naruto's been 10 years. Like basically, Isha would be like basically Minato and Kushina's age, I'm gonna assume. So at this point, Isha was like 24 by the time the Naruto attack would happen. She's 34 at this point. She's 34. And Isha, due to Naruto's training, is already joining level. Karin graduated the academy at age 10. Sasuke, he's friends with Naruto and he pays visits a few times, and he's also he has a crush on Karin. Karin doesn't have a crush on Sasuke. Karin doesn't have a crush on anyone, as Naruto is more like her big brother, so she doesn't really have a crush on him. And Sasuke, she doesn't see him enough to think of him as a crush, but she does know him pretty well. But he doesn't come around all the time. Sasuke at age 10 already has a 220 Sharingan, from Naruto forcing him to train so hard. But now, Naruto, by the time he's 10, and would Hiruzen walk in and throw Naruto a vest and a headband, saying you have tuning gear, but I'm giving the Genin. Until I say you're ready, you're gonna take the tuning exam. You're just gonna have tuning gear, but when I say you're ready, you can take the tuning exams. Naruto would nod, saying he'll take that answer, and Naruto begins going on like different missions that are pretty easy for him. And Naruto, like, just so people don't think he's too weak, he calls Isha his wife just for that simple fact. Even though they're basically not mother and son, but more like auntie and nephew kind of relationship. Like they're very close friends. That's how they are. In reality, even though Naruto makes people think that Isha is his wife, just so he's kind of similar to every other clan head that's alive. Now, Naruto, over the course of 2 years, not 2 years actually, I said 2 years, I think 2 months. Over the course of 2 months, Naruto had already done over 100 D ranks, and some of the D ranks he didn't even realize he did because he does them just to be nice. Now, during this time, Naruto would end up seeing that Karin brought home Shikamaru and Choji as friends. And then Shino would also come by the next month, and so did Hinata, so did Rock Lee, so did Neji, so did Tentacle. All the Konoha 12 kept coming to the Uzumaki compound. At one point it was Karin's birthday, and basically the whole Konoha 12 came. They came to meet Karin. Not meet, but to just say, just wish her happy birthday. The parents even came, and Naruto would get to know the clan heads even more, as Naruto is not much like a child, so he's more or less like an adult, as he was kind of forced to be like one, since he can't really act childish. He's a clan head, he has to act like one. So Naruto would talk to Shukaku, as Shukaku and Choza are more his speed. Kiwa's mother and every other person there isn't really his thing. Inoichi isn't really Naruto's style either, but Choza likes all the food and it's pretty calm, so is Naruto. Shukaku's very intelligent and very laid back, so is Naruto. Eventually they talk for a bit, and Choza and Shukaku ask Naruto, what style of jutsu do you use? Is there any specific nature? No, Naruto would say, I guess I can use all 7. And they're a little confused until they pick up Naruto can use all 5 chakra natures plus the yin and yang release. So Chozo will display his yin release, or pretty sure, yin would be spiritual, yang I'm pretty sure is physical. Let me check real quick. Alright, yeah. So yin is spiritual, yang is physical. So Chozo will display his yang release, which is his expansion jutsu, and Naruto thinks it's pretty impressive, as he'll then using sensory abilities to read the chakra flow of the yang release, or not really chakra flow, but like the physical flow of yang release, then begins filling the chakra into his body, and then he begins like kind of copying it as not begins like using a partial expansion jutsu. That's not like a good partial expansion, but it's pretty decent. It's not as Naruto's hand got pretty big, but not as big as a regular partial expansion. Which Cho's impressed by. He tells Naruto, if you want to, you can come by our compound to train anytime. I'll send over one of our Jonin to train you. And then he agrees to that as he looks at Shukaku, and Shukaku displays his sharp process jutsu. As he displays it, Naruto thinks it's pretty impressive. And then the clan heads realize that Naruto's copying their ninjutsu pretty well, which other clan heads bring up, and then Kiba's mother would be in like sniffing the air, she will enhance her hearing, which Naruto's hearing is better than hers. Then her smell, her sense of smell, which Naruto's able to copy as well, and is already doing better. But then she ends up displaying her like bomb animals, which Naruto's able to copy as well, as he's able to figure out what she does to make them like her. And then Naruto does something even better than that. See, every clan heads is one of their jutsu that isn't a Kekkei Genkai to Naruto. Hiyashi's there, they're just talking to Naruto for a bit, as they're pretty good friends. And Naruto has beat Hiyashi on multiple occasions. But not much by the time the party's over, he already learned all the clan heads and ninjutsu. He didn't perfect it, but he learned it. But by the time it's time for everyone to go home, Naruto actually invites the children to stay the night if they want to. They agree, and then Naruto gives them like the biggest vacant house to sleep in. Isha and Karin, they get like a basic house that's like 2 rooms, pretty big kitchen, pretty big bathroom, that kind of stuff. But Naruto would actually hang out with them that night, and they should discover that Naruto can't really act like a kid because of all the duties he has as a clan head. But yeah, so Naruto for once in his life can actually act like a kid. Well, not for the first time in his life, like the first time in a few years, he can act like a child. As most of the time revolves around making sure that Konoha stays in line, making sure Karin and Isha can stay strong shinobi, making sure his clan doesn't fall again. It's all Naruto does at this point. So, let's pause for time real quick. Alright, so Naruto's still 10 at this point, and by the time sleepover ends, Naruto gets a letter from Hiruzen. Naruto reads it, thinking it's from Hiruzen, until he opens it, and at the bottom it says, signed, Tsunade. Naruto reads it, and it's a letter from Tsunade. Basically, the whole thing, like, to do a quick rundown, it would say, I hear there's a child running the Uzumaki clan. Here's my location. Come and fight me. I make sure my clan doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Naruto would say, huh? Tsunade? Isn't she a Senju? As Hiruzen about this, and Hiruzen reveals, oh yeah, Tsunade is like basically a quarter Uzumaki. Most of her DNA is Senju, but yeah. Naruto's like, alright, I'm gonna find her. Hiruzen would ask Naruto, does he want like some Anbu escort or something? Naruto would say, he can handle it by himself. Naruto begins just kind of like at one point, Naruto would jump in the air, he hands until he yells, summoning jutsu. He sends his palm in the air, making like a ball of chakra under his hand, and a giant bird appears. Naruto lands on it, and then Naruto flies off to the location. Naruto's outfit is basically the point he's basically wearing pajamas. It's like just black sweatpants and like a red shirt. That's really it. Not even shoes or socks. Not even a kunai. Not one pouch of kunai or anything. If Naruto wants to, he can legit summon a scroll full of weapons. That's really all he does. When Naruto would land on building the Tsunade's in, he sensed her chakra. Once he landed on the roof, Tsunade already felt this intense presence, knowing who it was. She walked outside, as Tsunade would follow her, then Naruto would jump behind Tsunade, and Tsunade turns around seeing Naruto. She asks Naruto if he's the clan head of the Uzumaki, and no, that's when Naruto nods. Tsunade gets ready for a fighting stance, as Naruto doesn't even get in a stance, he just yawns. Tsunade would say, start! Tsunade would set Naruto at insane speeds until Naruto would just dodge the attack like it's nothing. When Tsunade would land behind Naruto, suddenly she's hit in the chest by a giant chain, and as Naruto begins controlling his chain pretty effortlessly. But as Tsunade would shoot Naruto would just chuckle, saying, alright, I guess the chains aren't working out. Naruto thinking that she starts to get being a little bigger, as then Naruto coats his body in a red aura that turns deep red, and then Naruto's whole body is covered in it, as then he disappears. Here's Ryan Tsunade punching her in the back, knocking her out, punching her in the back so hard it knocks her out. But she didn't fall in the air, so then Naruto will catch her, saying, "And I win." Puts her down, as his voice is really deep due to him being in the Nine Tails, Four Tails state. But he disperses it, saying, I need to get used to that. I still take your power by force, you know. The QB, from Naruto doesn't know his name yet, QB will say, I know, shut up. Naruto just laughs, saying, whatever. He directs Tsunade inside, or to an inn, and then begins talking to her. Eventually, he talks to Tsunade. For a bit, Tsunade actually she wants to fight Naruto again, but Naruto can't use any dirty tricks this time. Naruto agrees. He goes outside, and his bird is watching. Like the bird, it's like a 13-foot hawk. It's really huge. But Tsunade will try Naruto, and he's trying to make the punch, thinking that Naruto can't dodge this with how fast it is. But Naruto meets the punch with the same strength, barely infusing any chakra into his punch. The punches collide, making a giant shockwave, sending Tsunade flying back a bit. We're gonna go to Jiraiya, who's actually looking for Tsunade and got record of a giant person, not a giant person, like a giant bird flying towards his village. But Jiraiya's investigating that first, until he senses Tsunade there. Then he sees the giant bird on the roof. Then when he arrives, he sees a yellow-haired kid that looks just like Minato riding Tsunade. Then Jiraiya remembers something. Clan Uzumaki is Minato's son. Well then, he actually sees Tsunade in a chokehold by Naruto, and Naruto's choking her out. So Tsunade can't break out anymore, and she passes out. Naruto then says, Alright, I win again. Jiraiya tapped Naruto in the back, as Naruto looks up, saying, old man, was it like your party for the night or something? It's points to Tsunade. Jiraiya can't help but burst out laughing, saying, Oh, I wish. And nah. I'm actually here to talk to you about your parents. No, Naruto would say. Oh, you know them? Jiraiya would nod, saying, Don't tell me the old man didn't tell you. Naruto would say, I didn't. He didn't tell me anything. Jiraiya can't but face palm as hard as he can, saying, Alright, come inside. He drags Tsunade inside the inn. Tsunade just follows them, a little confused. And Jiraiya basically gives Naruto the whole rundown on who Minato and Kushina are, and then about the Nine Tails. Naruto knew about the Nine Tails, about his parents. Here's a knows that Naruto's ready, but he just won't tell Naruto. When Naruto hears it, he says, I guess it's pretty explainable. Jiraiya then says, Wait, really? It's explainable? Naruto nods, saying, Yeah. My mother is one of the only Uzumaki in history to enter the Hidden Leaf in the past 100 years. Besides Mito Uzumaki, besides Tsunade, and besides any other remnant of Mito, and they aren't really notable. Kushina was the past Nine Tails in Cherokee, and Minato and me look pretty identical. Dragon says, So you kind of guess who your parents were, but you didn't say a thing? Naruto nods, saying, Yep. Dragon says, Well, are there any other Uzumaki in the Uzumaki compound? Naruto says, Yep. There's a girl named Karin and her mother Isha. But the village knows Isha as my wife. Dragon says, She's not your wife, but the village thinks she is. Naruto nods, saying, Yep, and I guarantee if I bring Tsunade there, they're going to think she's my wife too. Dragon says, Naruto would just say, Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Basically, what Naruto knows Jiraiya's thinking about is he wants to propose to Tsunade when she wakes up, just so no villager thinks that Tsunade is Naruto's wife. They want her. They want them. Jiraiya wants them to think that Tsunade is his wife, not Naruto's. But when Tsunade wakes up around an hour later, they're on a giant bird in the sky with Jiraiya, and she's on the back of the bird too. And Naruto is gonna just on the bird's feather as it flies. Guess what happened? And why Jiraiya is there? So Jiraiya reveals, Hey Tsunade, we're on the way back to the Uzumaki compound, and it just happens when you come there, they might think of you as Naruto's wife. Tsunade kind of blushes, is knowing that Naruto is pretty good looking for his age, but knows that she would never marry him because she doesn't really know what his personality is like. But Jiraiya says, "Well, apparently, if me and you get married, then they won't think that." Tsunade already knows what it's heading, saying, "Jiraiya." Something just kind of blushes even more. They're saying, we can go on a few dates first. If I want to go farther than that, then I'll tell you. Jiraiya would nod, saying, like, you would nod, like, insanely fast, saying, alright, sure. Eventually, around 30 minutes, they get to the Hidden Leaf and they land on, like, the Uzumaki compound roof, like, they landed on the roof. Naruto ended up got off the bird as Karin and Isha ran outside waving to Naruto. And Isha gave Naruto a pair of clothes, saying, I just washed these for you. Naruto was about Isha, taking the clothes as he goes inside his house and gets dressed. Now Naruto basically wears what you see in this picture. We'll minus the sword we'll just minus the sword actually. Now Tsunade will introduce herself, saying, I'm Tsunade Senju, or Tsunade Senju Uzumaki. And she explains, some like her relatives are Uzumaki, but she looks Senju more nonetheless. Isha would just talk to Tsunade for a bit, getting the whole grasp of it. And then, Now, we're going to fast forward around 1 month. After 1 month, Jiraiya and Tsunade got married. So Jiraiya and Tsunade are married, and Naruto, at the end of the month, would decide he wants to fight the Nine Tails, or try to harness his power. Naruto would meditate and go into his mindscape as he meets the Nine Tails. Nine Tails already knowing what's up, was even trying to train a bit in this small cell. By more or less trying to just hone his chakra and control it around certain limbs. So Naruto would say, "Are you ready?" And Naruto would nod as Naruto would jump up to the seal trying to pull it off. Suddenly someone would grab his arm. Naruto would say, "Who tried to grab him?" And saying, "Oh, hey Dad." And Naruto is instantly shocked, saying, "Wait, what? You know who I am?" Naruto would nod, saying, "Yep." So, can I finish pulling out the seal? Naruto would say, "No, it's the Nine Tails. What are you trying to do?" And Naruto would say, pretty easy. Just use my Uzumaki chains and knock it out. Take its power. Kind of that simple. Miyato and Naruto would basically talking about Miyato wants to lecture Naruto, but it's not happening. Naruto isn't letting it happen. After a bit, Miyato would kind of just get nervous that Naruto isn't taking his advice. Until Naruto basically revealed all of his accomplishments at age 10. Miyato hears all this, he's a little shocked. Actually, thinks that Naruto might be able to beat him if it would come to it. So once Minato actually comes to an agreement, Naruto would actually harness so much chakra into the seal that he's able to pull it off with one fell swoop, not slowly. Minato would tell Naruto the sealing formula of the whole seal. Naruto uses the hand seals and unlocks it as he falls to the ground, with Minato watching this. Nine Tails rushes out at Naruto. As Naruto comes above the Nine Tails, punching in the back using a chakra-infused fist. Nine Tails use chakra to reinforce its body just so it doesn't take as much damage. But Naruto began fighting with just insane speed and strength, mainly being the main use, as Minato was in shock at how strong and fast Naruto is. Naruto jumps in the air as he then yells. Wind style, great breakthrough. Shooting down the Nine Tails, Nine Tails will then launch a fireball jutsu at Naruto. Thus Naruto has another idea. Naruto would use something jutsu to make a few tags appear in his hand, and infuse chakra into them to make killing formulas appear on them. He sends them all around the Nine Tails as he infuses the chakra into them, and Naruto would yell. She would yell, boiling barrier seal. The dome would form around the Nine Tails as in the water, the air begins boiling and begins reaching a boiling temperature. Nine Tails begins trying to break out of the barriers as unbearable. Even tries to claw at tags, but the tags end up burning the Nine Tails' claw. So Naruto would then say, "And make it more, miserable for you." Naruto would spit with hand seals yelling water style, syrup trap. He spits out tons of sticky water all over the Nine Tails' feet, so it can't move anymore. Nine Tails being boiled alive. Then the Nine Tails panting, saying, I submit." Naruto then says, "Release." And the water will disperse, and the seals just poof out of existence. Naruto just holds his hand, holds his arm out for the Nine Tails, and then just bites down weakly, and Naruto begins healing it. As Naruto is restored, he falls on his back, saying, "I think that's the most pain I've ever felt." Naruto would say, "It's not, and you know it." And Naruto says, "It's fine, it's not, but it still hurt." Naruto would say, "Yeah, boiling air would burn you. Plus syrup was all over your fur." And the Nine Tails looks at his hand, saying, "It was, and now it's sticky." Naruto begins spraying water all over the Nine Tails' paws just so the syrup gets out of it. Well, eventually the Nine Tails holds out like one tail towards Naruto, saying, "See the chakra emitting off it? Put your hand in chakra and grab it and pull." Naruto does what Nine Tails says, and he pulls out a huge chunk of Nine Tails chakra. Naruto then begins feeling like an orange glow around his body, and then he goes into KCM1 in real time. So he feels this, gets the Nine Tails. Is there any way for me to get your full power? Nine Tails tells Naruto there is a way, but Nine Tails doesn't really trust Naruto that much. Nine Tails then well, not Nine Tails. Naruto then asks the Nine Tails, like, what can he do? Now the Nine Tails then has an idea. Do what Ashura did. So, like, do what Ashura and Sage did. Use both their combined efforts. Naruto would nod, saying it was like the best choice for, like, not the best choice, but once Naruto tells Naruto all the stuff that Sage did and what that Ashura did, Naruto agrees to do all this. As then he leaves his mindscape, and then once he leaves, Jiraiya and basically everyone at the Uzumaki compound is there, plus Shizune kind of stays there because Tsunade's there. And Naruto looks around, saying, "Oh wow, what are you guys in here?" Naruto's glowing, and that's when Naruto says, "Oh, this." He expresses it as Jiraiya questions what it is. Naruto will say, "Oh, I beat up the Nine Tails and took his power." Shocks everyone. You already took on the Nine Tails. Jiraiya says, "Oh well, why'd you stay in that form and not release it earlier?" Naruto would say, "Cause now something else is going to happen." Jiraiya questions it. That's what Naruto would say. Hey, I don't know if you guys want to go with me, but so in order for me to unlock the Nine Tails powers, I have to go on the same quest as the Six Paths and their sons. And the Nine Tails will actually decide the whole reincarnation of Indra and Ashura to Naruto, and Naruto will quickly discover the Indra reincarnation is Sasuke. He quickly knows that. Because it has to be Uchiha or someone else. And it has to be Uchiha or someone else, but someone. Now eventually, once Naruto how to say this? Once Naruto describes each and every quest that Sage Six Paths and Ashura did, Naruto wants to bring Indra too. Not Indra, bring Sasuke. Jiraiya then says, "Naruto, how about this? We will all train for 1 year. All of us. We train under you, even Sasuke. Once this time is up, me and all of us that trained will go with you to complete these quests." Naruto says okay with this. Nodding. Yeah, sure. Naruto agrees with it. Naruto has an idea for Naruto. Make a clone. Make like a 40% clone, and the Nine Tails inhabits it. Naruto hesitates, but makes the 40% clone, and then the Nine Tails then takes over the body, and then uses transformation jutsu, and the Nine Tails more or less kind of his eyes are bright red, the hair is orange. Basically, it looks like Menma, but the two eyes are basically Menma, but the hair is red and the eyes are red and it has claws. Nine Tails then tells him that we can do to train, and Naruto invites Sasuke and tries the whole Indra and Ashura reincarnation thing. And Sasuke doesn't believe it until the Nine Tails then confirms it. But after 1 year of training, they already believe as Naruto, Jiraiya, and Tsunade basically describe what they're going to do. Basically, just they're going to go and go and travel the world, just help it. Using questioning it, but Naruto says, don't worry about it. Just Usani accompanying us. Plus, these Uzumaki are really strong. During this time, Naruto had mastered each and every clan head's ninjutsu that isn't a Genkai. And Naruto also the first thing that Naruto did is go to Mount Myoboku. And during this time, Karin had actually took Naruto's bird summoning, and she learned her and Isha ended up learning how basically bird sage mode. The whole basis of it is that they can actually enhance their hands with chakra and grow nails with chakra, or talons with chakra. Their eyes can see insane distances that are up to 2 miles away. Basically, high sensory is what bird sage mode is. When Naruto and Jiraiya had spent their time perfecting sage mode, while Tsunade ended up taking herself and Shizune to learn slug sage mode. Slug sage mode more or less is just 100 healings, but this time Tsunade kind of unlocks a healing bite, but not exactly. Someone will just touch her, Tsunade can just channel chakra to their body and heal them, and she can even keep the chakra. Now, after around 2 weeks, Jiraiya and Naruto come out, with Jiraiya actually having to keep up train his body even more, And his eyes, like one of his eyes is like just kind of like looks like a frog, but the other eye is completely normal. And Jiraiya explains what happened. Jiraiya puts his headband around that eye, saying, "Not a headband, like kind of bandages around that eye, saying, all right, this eye is really high sensory and it's kind of annoying, and it'll drain my chakra fast. So also, it's like I'm sealing it off." Karin and her mother talk about the bird sage mode. Tsunade talks about Tsunade bring up slug sage mode. Sasuke more or less just kind of spent time at Mount Biboku learning how to use a sword. That's all Sasuke really did. He didn't want frog sage mode or bird sage mode or slug sage mode. He wanted to learn how to use a weapon. Sasuke also enhances ninjutsu and his resistance to nature energy. So Naruto had also learned like frog summoning. Also has a bird summoning now, and Tsunade already gave him like taught him how to get a slug summoning. So frog, slug, and bird summonings. That's all Naruto has right now. Eventually, the Naruto brings up where to find the snake summoning. And then when Naruto brings it up, Sasuke thinks it's going to be perfect for him. So Sasuke would read he wants to go there first. So Naruto runs to the location. When he gets to that location, since snakes are like outside waiting, what's your business here? But Naruto just inhales and shoots out a giant blast of wind at them, shooting them back really far. Then Naruto would go to the White Snake Sage and bring up, just like they have summoning. Well, Naruto's main goal in life right now is basically get every animal summoning he can. And another the White Snake Sage questions Naruto, if you can fight, if you can at least give me a challenge in a fight, I'll let you all come in here and try to pick out a snake summoning. Naruto would nod, saying, "All right then." Another White Snake Sage will enter his Snake Sage mode. Is rushed at Naruto. Naruto legit rushes in front of him, putting his arm in KCM and punching the White Snake Sage across the face, knocking him out. And when the White Snake Sage wakes up, he sees that Naruto, Sasuke, and Karin all have snakes around them, and the snakes agree, like I said, these are they are summoning masters. Sasuke, let me pause real quick. Alright, so Naruto doesn't actually have a snake around him, but more or less Sasuke and Karin do. Now Sasuke met Manda and put him in his place disrespectfully. Point where Manda is humbled by Sasuke. Manda getting mercy from Sasuke is like his greatest gift. So Manda actually bowed before Sasuke, acknowledging him as his master. Now Jiraiya knows who Manda is and even asked can we find Orochimaru? But Naruto said we'll find Orochimaru when we need to. Right now we need to do these quests just to prove that we're strong enough to do them. Because Ninetales doesn't believe in us. As Ninetales 40% clone arrives saying, "I forgot that I had this body." But yeah, I don't think you guys are ready. That's Naruto's like, "Oh, I forgot I even made that for you. I barely even feel a difference in chakra loss." Naruto says, "Yes, because you have so much chakra, it's basically infinite." Naruto bursts out laughing, saying, "Yeah, it is infinite." Well, White Snake Sage questioning why Naruto doesn't have a snake summoning, and Naruto reveals, So during this time the snakes do sleep, which is like 2 days, because Naruto punched him hella hard. So Naruto basically explains, he has a bird summoning. He learned bird sage pretty easily. He perfected it. He learned bird sage perfectly. He already can summon birds. He can summon frogs. He doesn't have a summoning snake, but even though he wants one, he can summon the Ninetales. He can summon a slug. Naruto wants a strong summoning animal, as he basically has he can summon Gamaken, Gambunta, basically every frog if he wants. Mainly his main summon would basically be the great frogs, the great frog sage, I believe, or elder frog. Naruto can summon him, but he won't do much. But all I can tell you right now is he'd probably be really good at oil, shooting oil or a large amount of oil, or emitting great amounts of nature energy and turning people to frogs. So Naruto can summon him, and he summons the head of every animal he knows. This bird ended up getting bigger as it became the head of the bird, the bird summonings, and it's around 20 feet long. Well, just 20 feet in general. White Snake Sage, knowing where Naruto's going with this, would then just say, "Alright, you beat me pretty easily. I'll teach you Sage Mode. I'll teach that boy right there Sage Mode." Karin doesn't really want Sage Mode, so she already has Sage Mode, so she doesn't really need it. So she's okay with her one Sage Mode. Well, Naruto is I'll gather up as much power as I can. So Naruto will then learn Snake Sage Mode. So it's Sasuke. Sasuke is perfect, but he knows it, and Sasuke can't perfect it, but he's not there. His body isn't there yet. Well, Naruto's body is there, most likely. So pause real quick. So Naruto, when it came to like learning Snake Sage, it took him a few hours, like 13 hours. But it only took him the extra to make 24 to mix KCM and Snake Sage mode. And then he actually stack on every the Sage mode that he knows on top of it to basically become a master. At this point, Naruto might not on the level of Sage 6 paths, but he's on his way there. And basically, if he mixes all Sage mode he knows plus KCM, his aura is purple, which KCM forms purple. And snakes, plus snakes are kind of emitting from Naruto's chakra. And Sasuke, his aura is he can emit a blue aura, and that's really it. But eventually they leave, and Jiraiya more or less focuses on trying to master everything naturally that he can. Naruto is focusing on that too, and Naruto eventually masters as much fire style jutsu as he can memorize off the top of his head. But eventually they get to where the Sage 6 Master was born. When they get there, his village isn't really like poor, but it's not prospering. So Naruto begins like helping other villagers just find some ways to get a lot of money, which is Naruto would end up hunting a lot of animals, finding not hunting them to extinction, but finding a species that wouldn't be hunted to extinction if Naruto would have hunted. It gives them a lot of hides, a lot of meat. It's basically a lot of things to help them. While other people that Naruto brought do help as well, and they even send out bird summonings to help them. And then Jiraiya begins teaching some of the shinobi there, well not shinobi, but people that can fight, how to fight better and how to use chakra. And it takes them around 1 month in total. Eventually, you go to the village where Ashura helped, and while they're there, they end up helping it even better. And during this time, Naruto had figured out with water and earth affinity strong enough to make wood release. He didn't know it, but eventually he was trying to mix the ninjutsu, trying to mix the chakra natures. Eventually, Naruto ended up making storm release, particle style, wood release, basically a lot of Kekkei Genkai in terms of ninjutsu. That's basically all the Naruto learned while he was there. They even built better houses, bathhouses. They made the village prosper respectfully. Eventually, once that village prospers, Naruto and his group leaves, and eventually, Sasuke would end up unlocking his Tomoe Sharingan through training. Now, we're going to go to to a nearby Akatsuki base. And this time Hidan and Kakuzu are in the base. They're walking out after getting their mission to find out who they should target. But then they see Naruto and his group. Hidan, knowing who Naruto is, would rush at Naruto as fast as he can, but Naruto already sensed him. As soon as Naruto sends his chakra rushing at Naruto appears behind Hidan, grabbing a scythe and just using chakra into it that Naruto's not crushing it. Suddenly it's all crushed into a ball, and Naruto drops it to the ground. As Hidan rushes at Naruto again, trying to punch him in the face for breaking his his scythe. But eventually, Hidan turns back on Karin, and she ultimate Karin, punching kunai right through his skull. But Hidan kind of pulled it out until he realizes that, something bad is about to happen. What's about to happen is Naruto put his hand right through the stab wound, and infused his hand with wind chakra, basically floating Hidan's head. Hidan's body fell over, trying to regenerate its head, but it's not going to work for a long time. Kakuzu looks at Naruto, as Naruto looks at Kakuzu. Naruto asks Kakuzu, what's your goal in life? What's the whole thing you want? Kakuzu reveals, kind of just basically wants money. That's really it. Naruto brings up he's going to head out the Uzumaki clan, and Kakuzu will want. He can make Kakuzu kind of they're not their accountant, but I'll say this. Their advisor. He channels the income and outcome of money. Kakuzu questions they make a lot of money, and Naruto explains how much D ranks he does. He makes more money. He makes how much D ranks he can do in a day. He basically makes so much money as an A rank, as one A rank mission, which Kakuzu knows it's a lot of money. They actually agrees to this. Kakuzu basically tears up his Akatsuki cloak, and ends up taking off his headband, and putting his mask on. Basically Kakuzu's lower his mouth and nose are covered. That's really it. His hair is let free and everything. But Kakuzu would end up traveling with Naruto's group, and Naruto would actually have Kakuzu bite him, and Kakuzu would have his heart restored to full power. Kakuzu is insanely strong now. He's confusing on why he's this strong. But he likes it, so yeah. And after a year, Naruto and his group comes back to Hidden Leaf with one thing. Now, at this time, Naruto had actually met Roshi, the 4,000 Cherokee, and fought him and won. So Naruto basically invited Roshi to train harder, He also met some other members of the Akatsuki that he beat up pretty easily, with Kakuzu helping him, but they still saved the Akatsuki. The only person from the Akatsuki they didn't meet is not Kakuzu. The only person they didn't meet is Itachi, Kisame, Pain, Obito, and Konan. Those are the only people they didn't meet. They met everyone else. And they beat them up, but they didn't die. They saved the Akatsuki. After 1 year, they come back, and when they come back, Hiruzen like waiting at the gate for them. I think Hiruzen is noticeably more muscular. Noticeably. Well, Kakashi's also at the gate, waiting for them to come back, and Kakashi's also noticeably more muscular. Naruto question what he did is, as Hiruzen says, "Well, I cannot let a brat like you get ahead of me." Kakashi then says, "He just asked me to train with him, and I got stronger from that." Naruto then says, "Yeah, Kakashi, would you like to move into the Uzumaki compound? Because I learned a technique that can help you move in." Kakashi's a little confused, but agrees to this. When they get to the Uzumaki compound, Kakuzu is questioning what happened, like why Kakashi's moving in. And Naruto then says, "I've mastered a form of yin and yang release. It can mess with the DNA. He puts their hand on their backs, and eventually he ends up channeling enough chakra into ends up messing Kakashi's DNA enough to the point where Kakashi's hair turns dark red. You guys know what I'm doing, then you know. Kakashi's now an Uzumaki. Or half Uzumaki or he's like a quarter of Hatsuke now, and the rest of his body is Uzumaki. Kakashi will notice the strength and speed increase, plus everything else. So when Kakashi notices this, he's the one who is amazed. Then he realizes his Sharingan doesn't take as much chakra from him, and he also realizes he can use Mangekyo now. But Naruto then puts his hand over Kakashi's eye, channeling chakra into it, to the point where Kakashi can actually turn it on and off, but it's a little hard to turn it on. Naruto's not perfect to the point where he can mess with someone's DNA and basically make them full Uzumaki. If Naruto does that, he will pass out. Most likely he's going to pass out for days on end. But Naruto would end up grabbing Kakuzu, channeling Andrew and him, and making Kakuzu not full Uzumaki, but half Uzumaki. So Kakuzu's hair, his hair turned red, and Kakuzu now is replacing the Uzumaki compound. Naruto lays down on his bed saying, "I'm drained." And Naruto falls asleep. That's really it. And Hiruzen was watching this in shock, he turned them into the Uzumakis. Naruto wakes up after 4 days, stands up saying, "Alright, that's some good rest." And Tsunade and Naruto saying, "Do you mind making me half Uzumaki?" Naruto then says, "What for?" Tsunade says, "How about this? If you take out whatever else I mix with, but keep Uzumaki and Senju in me, I'm pretty sure that I will get insanely strong from that. This will enhance my Senju and Uzumaki sides." Naruto actually agrees with that. He makes 4 clones that begin doing this to Tsunade, and by the time Naruto's done, Tsunade's hair is a little bit darker, kind of this is pretty dark blonde, but you can see some streaks of her hair are red. Jiraiya is not going to be turned into Uzumaki, but he's going to be allowed to live in the Uzumaki compound as he's Tsunade's husband, and he goes by Jiraiya Uzumaki now. Tsunade goes by Tsunade Senju Uzumaki. Kakuzu is Kakuzu Uzumaki. Kakashi is Kakashi Hatake Uzumaki. So yeah. Now, Sasuke and Naruto broke the Indra and Ashura cycle pretty easily. And Naruto ended up training Sasuke hard enough to the point where he's able to put Sasuke in a strong enough Genjutsu. He thinks Sasuke's ready enough to be put into Genjutsu. And Genjutsu basically imagines Sasuke seeing a dead Itachi at his feet. That hurt Sasuke so emotionally, the point where Sasuke awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan. When he awakened it, Naruto began training Sasuke with the Mangekyo. And he trained Sasuke with it. Naruto can't use it, but he's really strong with it. Not strong with it. He's strong enough to train Sasuke to use it. Sasuke ended up but learning how to use a Susanoo, how to use basically everything else. And a few months before graduation, Naruto was able to teach Sasuke. Well, let me just find some ninjutsu to teach Sasuke. Okay, Fire Style Lightning Style. I can do that for him. Alright, so Sasuke is able to learn from Fire Style, Fireball Jutsu, Phoenix Sword Jutsu, Fire Style Fire Dragon Bullet, Majestic Destroyer Flames, Flaming Sword, and Flaming Palm. That's from Fire Style. That's Ash clone. Sasuke Sasuke from Lightning Style, Naruto learned something from Kakashi. So Sasuke. Naruto and Sasuke learned Chidori and Chidori Senbon. Sasuke has like every other version of Chidori that's in canon, but Naruto also ended up mastering or making Purple Lightning. But Sasuke also has, due to the I made up, Lightning Toss, which is basically like you channel ball lightning in your palms, like between your palms of your hands, and then you can throw it like a ball. Once it hits someone, their whole body is floated in electricity and starts electrocuting them until they fall unconscious. Lightning Toss, Lightning Ropes. You shoot out a bolt of lightning from your mouth, and it wraps around people and just shocks them. Then Lightning Ball, you just make balls lightning, shoot at people. That's from Boruto. And then Sasuke also has Overdrive, which is like electric punches. So yeah, now Kakashi, he also learned every other version of Chidori. Plus Sasuke, Naruto, and Kakashi all have all have Kirin. Well, Kirin has a lot of like water style and earth style mainly, and she does have Uzumaki. Basically every other Uzumaki jutsu except for Uzumaki Seal and Reaper Death Seal. But now we're gonna go to the graduation exam. And for that, Sasuke graduated earlier, but he wants to stay in the academy. And during this time, Shikamaru and Choji and basically every other member of the Konoha 12 is stronger, except for Sakura, as there's no need for her to get stronger. Well, there was a need, but she only get stronger physically. And when Naruto heard about Sakura graduating, he's a little shocked, but had an idea for her. So he actually told Hiruzen that, like Sakura should not become a genin just yet. But he has a plan for her, which is Tsunade and Jiraiya will train her. Not Tsunade and Suzune will train Sakura. And Naruto did the thing where he turned like a little bit of Suzune into Uzumaki. No, she's like a quarter. Like she's barely even in Uzumaki at that point. He's barely even in Uzumaki, but she has some Uzumaki DNA. Now this is very draining to Naruto. No matter how much chakra he has, like he's messing with someone's DNA for a long period of time. Like even though it feels very short in real time, it takes like it's hours for Naruto and his chakra. Like it's exhausting. But yeah, now Sakura, she'll be trained by Suzune and Tsunade, and Sakura will eventually first actually fast forward like 1 or 2 months. So Naruto actually had every other member of Konoha 12 not do D ranks, but more or less the senseis would train under Naruto plus their students. Well, actually, Sasuke doesn't need to train under Naruto. He's already pretty strong. But more or less, Sasuke spends time perfecting his snake sage mode. He spends that time doing it. But like every other shinobi, like the Konoha 12 plus their senseis. Well, not the Konoha 12. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. So basically, the Konoha 9 are training under Naruto, and plus their senseis, except Kakashi. They're training under Naruto, and yeah. Now, eventually, fast forward like 1 or 2 months. No, none of them are turned into Uzumaki. None of them are. Not even Sakura. But they all have bigger chakra reserves to the point where even if they're genin, they have like joining level chakra reserves. Shikamaru and Choji, they're able to keep up with adult Shikamaru and Choji, even though they're 12 or 13. And yeah. Now, by the time it's time for the Waves mission, they legit just give the mission to Team Might Guy, and Lee was able to get stronger really fast, and not able to give him like a lot of chakra. Like Lee doesn't want to use it for ninjutsu, but not to give him a lot of chakra for the fact that he can enhance his strength and speed with chakra. So which my guy thanked Naruto for is it was pushing Lee forward. Then he also gave my guy more chakra to enhance his speed and punches with, which my guy did not need at all, but Naruto wanted to be vicious. My guy and Kakashi now have a stronger relationship as they can go longer in fights. They can even use strong ninjutsu. Now, he was just actually shocked that Naruto made the leaf this big. Plus, with how strong the leaf is getting, they're able to expand the village. As some people actually like bowing down before the hidden leaf and giving people to them. Like hidden leaf got bigger, and Suna, fearing their power, offered them some of the land of the desert. Now, Hyushin didn't want it, but Naruto just said, we can probably take out like some of the border and just push forward, but only the advantage, not the advantage, the abandoned parts of it. Hyushin agreed to. The Hidden Leaf expanded majorly, and at this point, Naruto ended up talking to Kakuzu, and Kakuzu has an idea. And Hyushin, hearing this idea, would question what Naruto, like, he heard it and questioned, like, how Naruto's gonna act it out. So Naruto would say it's not gonna be too hard. And the whole thing is, Naruto is going to eradicate the feudal lord. Or if the feudal lord doesn't want to die, he can just agree to become a normal civilian. So basically, their goals to make Kakuzu the feudal lord. Kakuzu for one has to be fair. He has to be. Kakuzu, with being humbled by Naruto disrespectfully, he is going to agree. So Naruto basically told the feudal lord about this, and the feudal lord eventually ended up submitting and becoming he's a civilian with a hidden leaf, but he ends up he's a noble, civilian but a noble. He's okay with that position. Now, Land Blaze mission handled by Team My Guy, and the first time they encounter Haku and Zabuza. Like, when Zabuza appears, My Guy legit kicks the blade into pieces and knocks out Zabuza with that one kick too. Haku tried to appear, but Lee appeared above Haku, punching Haku across the face and him flying. Eventually, Neji would end up just making sure Haku can't escape by doing a giant 64 palm rotation around the area. Then this led to Tenten basically subduing Haku by tying him up. Tenten immediately starts smelling Haku, and notices Haku's wearing perfume. Now Haku and Tenten talk for a bit, and this reveals that Haku is a woman. Yes, Haku is now a she. So Haku and Tenten will talk for a bit, until eventually Zabuza hears about the hidden leaf. He didn't hear how much it expanded, but they did hear that it got stronger. My guy tells him about the hidden leaf and basically the Uzumaki clan head, and how the Uzumaki clan head is basically the strongest shinobi in existence at this point. Zabuza is so if you guys were to bring me into the hidden leaf, I'd basically be under the mercy of the Hokage, who's stronger, or the feudal lord, who works under the Uzumaki clan head. So one of the ways I'm gonna be executed, or I can be an ally. My guy nods saying, "Yep, I'm pretty sure you can also mess with bloodline." Zabuza says, "Are you serious? You can do that?" My guy nods saying, "Yeah, you turned my best friend into Uzumaki." Zabuza then look at Haku, as Haku then already knows what Zabuza's about to say. But Haku then says, I guess I can do it, Mr. Zabuza. Zabuza nods saying, "Me too." Zabuza then asks for directions to the hidden leaf. Rock Lee then volunteered to escort them to the hidden leaf, knowing he can take them both on if he would go up to gate 3. So my guy gives directions to Lee then takes them both to the hidden leaf. But they bring them before Hiruzen and Kakuzu. Zabuza just bows, holding up he has a bag of pieces of the executioner's blade, all the pieces. And Hiruzen, and seeing that they watch one genuinely become citizens, puts his hand above the bag, cut his hand, and blood pours into the bag, repairing the blade. Zabuza thanks Hiruzen and Kakuzu would get them a house somewhere, and eventually Zabuza will bring Haku to Naruto. Naruto at this point ain't kind of this point, with Naruto's age he can't officially do it with Isha, but Isha is now officially Naruto's wife. I'm kidding, no, she's not. But Naruto did develop feelings for Isha. So when Naruto becomes of age, he's going to do it with Isha. So I'm just saying that right now. He's gonna have multiple wives. Now Karin already has feelings for Naruto, and Naruto already made Karin his wife. So Karin and Isha are Naruto's wife. They're Naruto's wives already. Well, Isha doesn't know she's Naruto's wife. But Karin knows very well she is. But yeah, now Haku is brought before Naruto, and Naruto doesn't have a thing for Haku, but he can acknowledge Haku is very pretty. Naruto begins altering Haku's bloodline, and eventually makes Haku full Uzumaki, which Naruto passes out from doing that. But Karin will sense throughout Haku's chakra system, saying, you still have the ice release, but the ice release now belongs to the Uzumaki clan. Haku's okay with that, saying, alright, I don't really care. Zabuza then asks if he can become Uzumaki, which Karin says most likely no, but you can help us train young Uzumaki, or young people that want to basically be allies with the Uzumaki clan. So yeah, Zabuza, he's a little nervous, but by the time Naruto wakes up after days, Team My Guy is back. Haku is training her ice release on new levels since he has more chakra to mess with it. And eventually, Zabuza asks Naruto, can he become an Uzumaki too? Naruto not really wanting to just do this, but he makes Zabuza like a quarter Uzumaki. That's really it. So Zabuza, once he gets this and gets the power up, he even enhancing his ninjutsu. But the execution blade becomes way lighter to Zabuza. Like he throws it in the air and catches it with one finger. Like he's bouncing it with one finger, saying, I'm never able to do that. But Zabuza kind of likes it. So now, eventually a few days pass again, and Naruto is actually gonna walk. He's wearing what you see in the picture, but Naruto normally lets him walk. Like as he's sitting, the frog's gonna walk. He's sitting on the frog. As he's walking, he's also holding a frog, which is Kichi and his brother. I'm gonna pause to find their names real quick. Alright, so Naruto has his hand out, holding Kichi and Gamatatu, while Gamabunta, not Gamabunta, but like a smaller frog, but big enough frog to hold Naruto on, is walking around. Eventually, Konohamaru would jump from the trees, jumping on Naruto's back, that's when Naruto's like, Konohamaru, get off my back! Konohamaru then realizes that Naruto's holding Gamakichi and Gamatatsu, who are very, very small babies. Konohamaru immediately apologizes, saying, I'm so sorry. Naruto bursts out laughing, saying, don't worry, Konohamaru. He ends up handing Gamatatsu to Konohamaru, as Gamatatsu is Konohamaru's future summoning. Konohamaru had actually been promised Gamatatsu by Gamabunta. Well, Naruto can have any summoning he wants. And Naruto did learn how to summon Enma, the Monkey King. Like, he learned basically every summoning that we've seen. Like, the giant whale summoning we saw in that one filler. Like, Naruto learned every filler summoning that he's been around. It's really easy for him to do it. And Naruto is also a sage of multiple kinds of ninjutsu. At this point, Naruto might be able to sage success. Might be able to. So yeah. Now, eventually they come across the same siblings. And this time they're not bullying Konohamaru. They are bullying Udon and Moegi. But eventually they see Konohamaru rushing at them, and Kankuro thinks it's going to be pretty easy to push Konohamaru away, but as he does try to, Konohamaru will grab Kankuro's arm and almost break it with just pure physical strength. But Kankuro is then thrown on his back as Sumari is pushed into the bushes. This is by Konohamaru. He asks if Moegi and Udon are okay as they both hug Konohamaru, saying yeah, they're alright. Kankuro gets up as he says, who the hell do you think you are? Until a blade's put to his neck. He looks at Naruto, realizing who he is immediately. Naruto is a legend among each and every nation. Like, he is known as the king of the Uzumaki at this point. Tamari's a little nervous, but she instantly recognizes Naruto. Kankuro immediately just runs off and runs where Tamari is, holds her up, and they bow before Naruto, saying, King of the Uzumaki. Naruto then says Uzumaki, not Uzumaki. And he's basically pretending to be strict. Like Naruto's very, very Shikamaru, like, in the sense, like Shikamaru and Choji in one being is Naruto. But Naruto's just stronger. But they're a little nervous. They said, King of the Uzumaki, I'm so sorry. Naruto bursts out laughing with Konohamaru and Udon and Moegi, knowing that Naruto's pretending to be serious. Kankuro's looking nervous, like saying, why are you laughing? He's the king of the Uzumaki. Konohamaru then says, he's never serious. He's just intimidating you guys. They then see that Gaara is actually in front of them, on the ground, but Naruto's sitting on him. Naruto then say, so this guy had a lot of killing intent. Kind of bothering me. There's children around. Gaara tries using sand against Naruto, but Naruto just emits more killing intent towards Gaara. It's not even killing intent. Like Gaara thinks it is. It's not. It's legit just Naruto's willpower. It's kind of like Conqueror's hockey. Kind of like Conqueror's, but not as strong. And not as potent. But eventually, once Naruto stands up, Gaara comes back, questioning, how'd you do that to me? That's what Naruto will say. You're Gaara of the sand, right? The one that's in Cherokee. Gaara then says, so what? How'd you know? Naruto then says, you never felt real love, have you? Gaara's a little confusing. So what if I haven't? That's what Naruto says. This village is very accepting of Cherokees. Gaara then says, but yeah, how do you know? Naruto then says, because I'm the ninth in Cherokee. He smiles, as everyone is shocked there, except for basically the same siblings are shocked. Baki would appear, sensing killing intent, or he thought with killing intent until he arrives, seeing Gaara being sat on. But Naruto stands up, saying, Gaara, anytime you want, what you want. Like, if you want me to help you, then just tell me, because I can most likely take Toby's out of you without killing you, or I can just suppress it so much they can live a normal life, or I can just teach you how to harness its power. Naruto's a little confused, not confused. He's a little shocked that Naruto can do all of that, and Baki is too. But he knows Naruto, the king of the Uzumaki, and yeah, the guy actually bows before Naruto, even on his knees, saying, "Harness its power for me. I don't want it out of me. It's probably gonna be put in someone else who can't harness it. So let me harness its power." Naruto will say, "All right, perfect." Naruto begins walking into the Hokage faces. As now the mountains are pretty big. Naruto made it way bigger, and Naruto are starting to make it way bigger. It's the point where it's like basically like this one giant mountain, the size of a whole mountain range. That's how big it is. The mountain range only goes from this one mountain goes from the Hidden Leaf all the way to like the border of Sunagakure. Not like the border of the Land of Wind, like coming on to Land of Wind, like the border of Land of Wind. But Naruto ends up bringing Gaara inside, as inside the fourth Hokage's face. If you go inside it, you go into the back room, and the room is huge. This room is meant for harnessing a tailed beast. The rocks are infused with so much chakra that the tailed beast can't break out of it. So Naruto would end up biting his thumb, climbing on the ground, yelling something jutsu. That's when the Nine Tails would appear. Now, Baki, Tamari, basically Konohamaru, Udon, and Mogi are there, but the same siblings plus Baki are there too. They're a little shocked by this. The same siblings are, plus Baki. Baki's question like, what are they doing here? They're still beast. But this is when Nine Tails sits up formally saying, Shukaku, what are you doing to that boy? Shukaku already knowing that basically he can already sense that Nine Tails was conquered by Naruto. He doesn't want to know what Naruto will do to him. But Shukaku, still being cocky, will take over Gaara's body, saying, "I can do whatever I want to the boy." Naruto will say, "No, you cannot." He puts one hand on Gaara's back, basically suppressing Shukaku to the point where Gaara is like, "What the hell just happened to me?" That's what Naruto will say. "Gaara, you have a lot of chakra. Make a clone and infuse half your chakra into it." Gaara would agree, saying, "Alright, I'll try." Gaara focuses as hard as he can, makes a clone, one that has 40% of his chakra. Sorry, I'm doing this. There we go. Alright, so Gaara made the clone for like an hour of trying, and then Naruto ends up having like the clone taken over by Shukaku. That's when Naruto asks Shukaku, can you transform that body into the One Tails? Shukaku agrees to transform into the One Tails, and the Nine Tails will look at him saying, "Alright, Shukaku. Naruto and me are going to be supervisors of this fight, while you will fight the boy." Shukaku says, "That's going to be pretty easy." As Shukaku says, "I tricked you. It's just like the ceiling using his tail to break out, but it doesn't do a thing. The ceiling just has like one pebble fall from it." That's what Naruto says. "These walls are imbued with my chakra. I did this, like, I'd say 2 weeks ago. It's going to be pretty hard to break out of it. Even these walls are flowing with my chakra, it's going to take years for you to break out of it. Even after I'm dead, it's going to take years for you to break out of it." So Shukaku then says, "Damn it." He says, "Alright, brat, come fight me." Naruto looks at Gaara saying, "Gaara, let me help you with this." Takes a gourd off Gaara's back, as Gaara's like, "What are you doing?" But Naruto then says, "Here." He answers Gaara's chakra, then says, "Added weight jutsu." This is the Ursa jutsu. The gourd then becomes heavier as Naruto puts it on Gaara's back, which Gaara feels the weight, but he can hold it pretty easily still. Gaara then says, "Oh yeah." Gaara begins moving his hand around, and like it's pretty hard to move around with Gaara's like just muscles, but it's able to hold down the One Tails. Eventually, Gaara then starts thinking that the sand's heavy, but then he starts thinking harder, saying, "Heavy." Gaara then begins moving his hand around the whole room, his hand basically everywhere. Then he begins mixing it up with gold dust and slamming it down on the One Tails. The point where the One Tails is being pushed to the ground, and Gaara begins pushing his hand down on One Tails more and more to the point where Gaara's out of chakra. And One Tails is just completely tired of sand being crushed upon him. And One Tails had bones; it'd have no bones left. When Gaara falls over, Naruto infuses him with chakra, waking him up again. That's what Naruto will say. "Alright, get up." Gaara then says, "Was I asleep?" nothing. Yeah, so what? Garden says, I haven't slept in so long. I forgot what it felt like. Naruto ends up smiling a bit, saying, you can sleep as long as you want after this. One Tail stands up, as Gar has barely any chakra left. But Gar then says, how about this? Gar ends up making a giant needle of sand, shooting it right through the One Tail's chest, and it would make it poof into smoke, as the One Tail's was a clone. But the One Tail's would have to acknowledge that Gar beat it. He wants to just make sure, I'm giving you any chakra steal, but this makes the one, not the One Tail's. Nine Tails tap Gar's head, and One Tails are now in Gar's mindscape. Now, this makes Kurama beat the living crap out of the One Tails, severely. And the One Tails has to now give Gar a chakra and be nice to him. Once that happens, Naruto will leave Gar's mindscape, and Gar falls asleep. That's what Naruto will say. The exam's in one day. We should let him sleep. We should let him sleep that away. But Gar and you three are sleeping in here. The U3 is referencing Baki plus not Konohamaru. But U3 is referencing Baki, Tamari, and Kankuro. But the other two Saiyan siblings plus Baki agree to that, as Naruto, Konohamaru, Moegi, and Udon leave with the Nine Tails poofing into smoke. Now, 24 hours later, Gaara slept for 22 hours. He woke up, he was actually very, very, very refreshed. And Naruto ends up bringing up the thing, he ends up having a clone run all the way to Tsunagakure as fast as it can using chakra and speed, which got it there, got it there at the end of the night. As Gaara slept, the clone got there. The clone ended up revealing that Gaara conquered the One Tails with the help of the King of the Uzumaki. And that basically put all of the plans just to crap. So yeah. Now eventually, the first test, Naruto has to participate in this. He has to, but he has to hold back as much as he can. This leads to Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto being on one team. However, the team is kind of nervous that Naruto's going to be participating, but they can already tell that Naruto's chakra is very, very, very held back. Very much so. Jiraiya and a lot of other seal masters don't know how to seal off a lot of Naruto's chakra to do this. But as it's sealed off, Naruto ends up going through the written test, but Naruto passes it easily. They got the highest score ever. Sasuke got the second highest score. Sakura got the third. 7, the smartest team there so far. Then Kabuto already knows he can't really try to brainwash them, or thinks he can't. Well, he thinks he can, but Orochimaru already told him he can't. But Kabuto wants to try it. Not brainwash them, but trick them. Which is the next part would start, which is the Force of Death. Now, when Naruto's talking to Sasuke and Sakura, Anko would just walk into bowing first thing, saying, "Sir, I request that you not speak while I'm giving instructions." Naruto immediately said, "Oh yeah, my bad." So yeah. Now, the Shinobi there can't believe that Naruto's the king of the Uzumaki. He's a child and he's letting someone he's a child, but he's strong. You can feel it. Letting someone talk to him like that. Everyone that's from the Hidden Leaf or that at least knows of Naruto, that's met him, or knows that Naruto isn't mean. He's just really calm and quiet. Eventually, Naruto gets a scroll from Anko. He throws it to Sakura, saying, "You need to hold on to the scroll and do the fighting." And Sasuke are just going to relax. Sakura already knows why, and she's okay with it. Eventually, when Orochimaru attacks, Kabuto and his team are there, plus the other sound ninja. So, Kine, Dosu, and let me find the other ones. Alright, so, usually the Sound 4 plus Kimimaru, Kabuto's team of Yoroi and Mitsumi, plus Kabuto himself. The Hidden Sound team, Sound 4, which is 4 people plus Kimimaru, that would make 5. And Kabuto, plus the Hidden Sound team of Dosu, Keen, and Zaku. Then we also have Kabuto's team of Yoroi and Mitsumi. And then we also would have Orochimaru himself, which are around 12, 13 people, I think in total. Maybe less. I forgot if I counted Kabuto's team twice. Basically, all of them are around Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. As Naruto looks at them, that's when Orochimaru then says, "Should we call them too?" Kabuto then says, "King of the Uzumaki is as strong as reported," and yes. This one Orochimaru then says, "All right then, He used hand seals, and eventually a scroll would open, channeling into chakra, and eventually Jugo and Suigetsu appear. When they appear, Suigetsu and Jugo are like, what the hell's going on? But Naruto has his eyes onto Yuya, who questions why not staring at her. Naruto then say, do you even know your last name to Yuya? He would say, no, I don't remember it. Naruto looks at Orochimaru saying, after I'm done with her, I'm gonna murder you. And Orochimaru's a little scared of that. Orochimaru's like, he's gonna murder me. And he knows if Naruto and him were to fight one-on-one, he'd lose immediately. Like Naruto is gonna wash Orochimaru pretty easily. He looks at Tsuyu saying, you're an Uzumaki. I'm a king of the Uzumaki. So of course you get on my side now. And Naruto's pissed. He's not being nice or kind or quiet. He's being serious. When she tells Yuya that she feels the presence of Naruto, and immediately just in fear walks over to him. But Sakura and Ukon are about to kill her until they put their hand out. They realize their hand's gone. All they got Naruto's group with Sasuke holding Sakura and Ukon's arm like it's a toy, saying, "Was that really it? All it took was just me using 2 fingers with chakra and slicing. Is that really it?" And Orochimaru looks at Sasuke, who has his Mangekyo Sharingan activated, which makes Orochimaru just quiver in fear, like, Mangekyo, king of the Uzumaki, and someone trained by 2 Sannin. Well, because Jiraiya did join in the training with Tsunade a bit for Sakura, so Sakura can't summon frogs or do frog sage mode, but she can summon slugs. She can't use the 100 healing, but she's really strong still. So Orochimaru's like, this is gonna be the worst thing. This is the hardest fight of my life. But Orochimaru then says, all of you attack them. Jugo rushes at Naruto as fast as he can, which Naruto legit grabs Jugo's arm, saying, I can already tell you don't want to do this. Jugo then says, I'm gonna kill you. Naruto then says, no you're not. He just breaks Jugo's arm like it's nothing, and the way Naruto did it made Jugo feel so much pain that Jugo legit screamed and howled in pain. Kimaru rushed towards Jugo trying to help him, but Naruto legit kicked him in the chest, sending him flying back, and all of his ribs were broken. Jugo tried to stand up, and Naruto saying, don't hurt him, he's sick. That's when Naruto looks at Orochimaru saying, letting a sick person fight. He seems like you're the sick one here. He looks at Jugo saying, if I heal him, will you submit and join my side? Jugo actually just says, yes, I will, just heal him if you want to do it. Naruto jumped in front of Kimaru, saying, here, bite my arm. Kimaru then says, why should I listen to you? Naruto just grabs his head, makes a clone, and the clone grabs Kimaru's head, and opens his mouth and makes Kimaru bite down. Kimaru then feels all of his wounds heal and his sickness go away. Naruto stands up saying, what? Naruto then says, join my side, Kimaru. And plus, I'll get rid of the disgusting Kaguya clan hair color. White is not your thing. Naruto says, my clan isn't disgusting. Naruto says, you're war-hungry beasts. That's all your clan is known for. And I can say that's most likely accurate. Naruto kind of just feels bad about that comment, but knows it's true. Kimaru bows before Orochimaru saying, not Orochimaru, bows before Naruto saying, alright. Judo then bows before Naruto as we get to, who's actually just being executed by Sasuke's Chidori. He's like, please stop it, I'll join your side. Sasuke can't cancel the Chidori saying, go ahead, go to Naruto, bow. So Suigetsu bows before Naruto saying, alright, I submit. Naruto then says, alright, 3 of you down. This Naruto looks at Sakura, who's legit taking down Dosu, Zaku, and Kin by herself, like it's nothing. But eventually, this Naruto will say, 6 of you down. Then he looks at Sasuke. Sasuke holds up Chidori Senbone and shoots it towards the town 4. Now this kills. It kills Jirobo. It kills Jirobo. Kills Sakura and Yukon. But as soon as it's about to hit Tayuya, Naruto saves her as fast as he can. He then says, "Can you just please submit?" Tayuya then says, "I'll never submit until Naruto hits her in the back of the head, knocking her out." Saying, "All right, 6 plus 3 of you are down now. Well, 3 of you, 6 of you are down. 3 of you are down now. Sakura, Yukon, and Tayuya. Plus 4 of you down. 10 of you are down. So it's legit 4 of you left, which is just Kabuto's team, and Kabuto, Yoroi, and Misumi, and Orochimaru. 4 of them. Orochimaru then powers up as much as he can, and summons Manda. When as soon as Manda summoned, he then looked at Sasuke saying, Lord Sasuke, I didn't know Sasuke to fight you. My apologies. Listen, Orochimaru's like, Lord Sasuke? You, what happened to the prideful snake I once knew? Manda then says, I'm not gonna fight a losing battle, you bumbling fool. As Manda then just slithers out from under Orochimaru, under Sasuke, saying, Lord Sasuke, should I eat him? So Sasuke then says, yes. What have you spit on him? Manda then says, my bad, stupid question. Manda then bites down not on Sasuke, on Orochimaru, eating him. That's when Sasuke then says, good boy. I'll find some animals for you to eat later. Manda then says, there's plenty of animals in this forest, sir. That's when Sasuke then says, don't eat any humans. Manda then spits out Orochimaru, saying, not him. That's when Naruto says, if he were to eat Orochimaru would probably kill him from the inside out. So yeah. So Sasuke says, yeah, sure, go eat random animals. And not a dog that you find on top of a kid's head. Don't eat that dog, or else me and Naruto might just kill you. Manda nods profusely as he slithers throughout the forest, eating tons of animals. While Sasuke and Naruto beat the crap out of Orochimaru, Sakura ends up fighting Kabuto and his team, and it's kind of like an even match at that point. Because Kabuto, if you were to sever Sakura's nerves and muscles, Sakura can repair them almost immediately, but it's going to be pretty hard to fight. Eventually, Yoroi gets his arms around Sakura, draining her chakra. By the time Naruto looks at Sakura, he then sees Rock Lee appear, kicking Yoroi across not across the face, in the neck as hard as he can, kind of killing Yoroi. When Neji then jumped in front of Misumi, while Neji palm striking him in the guts, and him flying, and Tenten sword, but she stabs right through his stomach, killing him. And then with Lan saying, we heard a giant snake talking. We questioned what it was. And so we saw it was Manda. That's what Naruto says. I guess no one knew who Manda is. Tenten says, yes, Sasuke showed Manda to us once. Naruto then chuckles, saying, you show off. Sasuke just bursts out laughing, saying, don't call me show off. I'm not show off. But Orochimaru stands up, barely able to move. Sasuke says, who said you can move? As he just pins Orochimaru to the ground, saying, should I call Anko or something? Naruto says, I'm a clone to get Anko. She's probably going to be the one that wants to deal with him. Or better yet, Naruto makes multiple clones, but one clone is told to stay in Naruto. The other clones go grab Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Hiruzen. But as soon as they get close enough, the other clone will grab Anko, bring her here, the one that stood by. When they all arrive, they see tons of Orochimaru Sound Ninja dead or submitting to Naruto. And then they see Orochimaru himself on the ground pinned down by Sasuke. Jiraiya will grab Orochimaru, dragging him away, with Tsunade dragging him along with him. And Jiraiya and Tsunade can take down Orochimaru by themselves at this point. They're so strong with that. The Uzumaki boost. Now, eventually, the corpses are buried, just to be nice, and that's when Orochimaru gives the location of every base. But they're not going to read the bases just yet. Now, the ones that did battle before Naruto. Naruto had Sakura just legit take the scrolls and bring them to every team that didn't have one, just to be nice. Like every team didn't have one. So when she does that, they end up going not all the way. They go over to the tower. While Naruto would leave the Forest of Death with Kabuto, Tayuya, Kimimaru, Jugo, and Suigetsu. Now, Naruto brings him to the Uzumaki compound, and that's when Naruto then says, Kimimaru, come to me. Kimimaru would nod as he walks to Naruto, bowing, saying, Lord Naruto. Naruto throws Kimimaru some brown and red clothes. As Kimimaru puts them on, and there's the same style as Kimimaru's normal clothes. As Naruto puts his hand on Kimimaru's head, as Kimimaru's hair goes from white to red. Kimimaru smiles as he feels his body be a little more at peace, and he doesn't feel like his bones feel stronger, his muscles feel stronger, everything feels stronger about him. He has more chakra too. Naruto ends up bowing again, and that's when Naruto signs him to a house. And pause real quick, figure out each and every Uzumaki. Alright, I'd make pause real quick. On the door. First close my door. Alright. So the Uzumaki clan. I had to make a list of who they are. If I missed some, you guys can comment them down below. So, Not these Uzumaki that are currently alive, and the ones I'm going to make an Uzumaki. So, I didn't write down all the ones I'm going to make an Uzumaki, but yeah. Naruto has Kimaru, who just left and turned into a house. The Uzumaki we have right now. So, Tsunade, 50%. Kakashi, 50%. Kakuzu, 25%. Shizune, 25%. 100% Kimaru. Now Naruto, he messes with their genes to the point where they're full Uzumaki, but when it comes to like their Kekkei Genkai, they stay in their body. Because Naruto isn't able to get rid of that. But then Karin and Isha is Karin's mother. They're both 100% Uzumaki. And Tayuya, 100%. Naruto, 100%. Nagato, he's not introduced yet. 100%. And Jugo. Naruto makes him a 50% Uzumaki. Jugo, once he's made 50% Uzumaki, his intense chakra would grow, but Jugo is able to stay with some control with 100% of his, not 100%. Like, if you go max power with his curse mark, he's able to stay in control somewhat because of the Uzumaki. Suigetsu is made 25. He's made 50% of an Uzumaki, as Suigetsu doesn't want to be full Uzumaki. But his hair, like all of it turns white. Not white, it's already white. Basically all of it turns red, but tips of it stay white. Then Kabuto, you can add Naruto's mercy, and this is the way that Kabuto would live. So Kabuto is made 25% Uzumaki. And this leads to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 Uzumakis. Also leads to Naruto assigning them houses. Now, Tsunade and Jiraiya, Jiraiya makes 14, but Jiraiya doesn't have any Uzumaki DNA. He's just Tsunade's husband. Now, final test would end up being the preliminaries. Naruto is not allowed to participate unless he wants to. Naruto cannot participate right now because he's doing stuff. So yeah. Now Naruto, he watches the final round of the preliminary, which is the final match is Rock Lee versus Gaara. Gaara is very tame in terms of taijutsu, not taijutsu. He's very tame in terms of chakra. I thought jutsu, I thought Rock Lee taijutsu. But Gaara is very calm now. Plus, he has more control over his like sand. Naruto made it heavier, which Gaara's body got stronger and was able to actually hold on to the chakra in the sand. I don't know about the weight, the weight is gone now, but Gaara can find a way to mix in gold dust with it. And then Rock Lee has chakra and he can enhance his strength and speed with it, plus his gates are higher. And by the way, Neji versus Hinata, Neji's attitude is gone. Naruto beat it out of him. Like the first time they fought, Naruto beat it out of Neji. And Naruto kept coming back if he wanted to beat the attitude out of Neji. It was fun for Naruto. Neji hated it, but it was fun for Naruto. But now Neji is actually very like he started with Hinata, but didn't put her in the same state he did in Ken. Like one palm strike to the chest, send her flying into a wall, which Hinata returned the palm strike by breaking Neji's arm. But Neji was able to hit her in the neck, knocking her out. So yeah, now Rock Lee versus Gaara. Gaara and Rock Lee actually have a good fight to the point where it ends in a draw. But Rock Lee ends up having a crushed leg still. Well, no. Well, Gaara has a very badly broken skull. Well, not broken, but cracked skull. So yeah. Now, eventually, Naruto would jump down with Gaara, able to move his mouth, would bite down on Naruto, healing completely. While Rock Lee would bite down on Naruto, having his leg healed completely. That's what Naruto says. So much done today. As he's about to jump up, until he's about to jump, he falls over and landing on the ground face first. Naruto had the Naruto replenish his chakra each time he turned one of them Uzumaki. But now the Naruto's out of chakra, so is he. He falls over, unconscious, barely able to cling onto light at that point because of how much chakra he used. So this leads to Kakashi jumping down, infusing some chakra into Naruto, keep him alive. While Tsunade would jump down as well, bringing Naruto to the Uzumaki compound, letting him sleep. Now, I forgot Haku's an Uzumaki as well now. So is Zabuza. So Haku 50%. Haku's 100%. Yeah. Haku's 100% Uzumaki, and they're on a mission right now, by the way. Then Zabuza 25%. So gotta write that down. Yeah, so Zabuza and Haku are on an S-rank mission right now. It should take them at least a year to get back. So Naruto wakes up after like almost a month of sleeping because of how much he did. But when he wakes up, he sees that Kimaru's by his bed, bowing down still. Kimaru's been in that position for almost a month, just to wait for Naruto to wake up. He's like, Jugo would feed Kimaru, and then when Jugo was done, he bowed beside Naruto. And Jugo, with training he did during his time, he'd also end up becoming strong enough to just not participate, but strong to like just like he wants to. He can take the training exams because all they have is Naruto's approval, but Naruto's asleep. But Jugo would also dominate each and every category if he would need to. Now, Jugo was able to like master his full power if he would need to. Jugo was able to do that. And Naruto's hair while he's asleep turned red. But now I'm gonna go over like the ranks of the Uzumaki if I didn't do that right now. Tsunade during this time became a shinobi again, and started healing more people. So Tsunade, she ended up becoming she became an elder of the village, of the Jiraiya. Kakashi became an Anbu captain again. Kakuzu is a feudal lord. He doesn't have a rank. Shizune, she ended up becoming a Jonin. She joined Kakashi's Anbu squad. Kimaru, who is Naruto's personal guard, but Anbu ranked. Karin, she's on tuning exams right now. She's training under Jiraiya and Tsunade. Isha, she's a Jonin. She doesn't really fight anymore. Kaguya, he spent that time training under Karin and Isha, and eventually Kaguya with her speed, intelligence, and strength ended up getting her ranked up to a Chunin without participating in the exams. Then Naruto, he's a Chunin at that point. Like actually, he's a Jonin. He doesn't need the final round. He can just he's given the rank of Jonin. Nagito, we don't even mention him yet. Jugo, he's given the rank of a Chunin. Suigetsu, given the rank of Chunin. Kabuto, given the rank of Jonin. Haku, Jonin. Zabuza, Jonin. Zabuza's the Anbu captain. Haku's in the squad. So yeah. Now, Naruto wakes up. He sees Kimaru and Jugo bowing by his side, and he can already tell that Jugo, Kimaru are actually pretty thin, but it's more or less from them being lean. Like Kimaru being the stamp for almost a month, and Jugo would like legit be a homie and bathe Kimaru if Kimaru would ask for it. That's how long Kimaru was there. Like Jugo found a way to change Kimaru and everything. Kimaru's been holding it for a long time. By the time Naruto wakes up, Kimaru would say, "Hello, Lord Naruto." Kimaru instantly runs out to the bathroom. Saying, "Alright, he's alive. Jordan says, he shouldn't have stayed in that stance for so long. He's gonna be in there for days. Naruto asks how long he's been out, as Jugo then says, almost a month. The preliminary exam is in 1 week. That's what Naruto will say. What about the Konoha 12? Have they been training good? We're not Konoha 9. We're counting Sasuke and Sakura. Well, Sasuke and Sakura don't need training. Sakura does, but that's what Naruto would say. What about the Konoha, the Konoha 11? How have they been, well, not 11. The Konoha 10, how have they been doing? Jugo says, they're pretty good. And Sasuke has just been looking for Itachi. While you've been asleep, Sakura's been training under Tsunade and Jiraiya still. Well, Tsunade's Shizune this time. And Kurenai had a bitch in a bit. But I need to find the list of the fights real quick. Pause. Alright, so there's gonna be some fights. As the preliminaries, they happened, but like the only reason it happened is because Gaara and Lee, they fought in the Force of Death but didn't get to finish it. Because they both had their scrolls and their team made them leave. So yeah. Neji versus Hinata still happened. Like certain fights still happened, but only because they just wanted to have fun and their teams had to finish some stuff. Like Lee versus Gaara, their teams were fighting before, but they didn't get to finish. And then Neji versus Hinata, their teams were fighting, but they didn't get to finish. So Neji fought Hinata and won. His arm was healed later, but by Karin. And then we had Lee versus Gaara, which ended in a draw, but Gaara just admitted that Lee was the winner. Now the fights for the final round. Sasuke versus Kankuro. By the way, the whole thing isn't happening. Like the whole Konoha Crush isn't happening. If it would end in 2 minutes. But Orochimaru's in jail right now, and the rest of the people that would participate are dead. All the enemies are dead, basically. Except for the Hidden Sand, and they can't really fight because Gaara. Sasuke versus Kankuro, the first fight. It's an easy watch for Sasuke. All that would happen is Kankuro would use his puppets. Sasuke would just use Shidori Senbon and destroy them. Then Kankuro would be wide open, leaving for Sasuke to punch him across the jaw, knocking him out. And then Shino versus Sakura. When that fight happens, Sakura more or less has like she can stay at a distance away from Shino, but well, she has to try to stay up close. But each time she would clash with Shino, Shino would put bugs on her, which made Sakura try to get them away. But when the bugs eventually was poisonous and bit Sakura, Sakura tried to get the poison away, but that led to Shino being able to kick her in the face, and that led Sakura to be pinned down, and Shino stuck his hand on the ground, leading Sakura to be covered in bugs that are poisonous. By poisonous, these ones actually drain her chakra, as they all drain her chakra, and she is now out of chakra, which leads to Shino barely winning. So Shino wins. Tenten versus Shikamaru. Now, Tenten versus Tamari did happen, by the way. I forgot to mention that. Tenten versus Tamari happened, and it led to Tenten winning. Tenten has stronger, but barely stronger. Tenten versus Shikamaru. When that fight happens, it's more or less like Tenten goes to try and attack Shikamaru, but his shadows take every attack. So Tenten eventually runs out of weapons because Shikamaru's shadow is taking every single attack. It's too hard. It's too hard for Tenten to hit Shikamaru. But eventually she runs out of weapons, and that led Shikamaru to be able to attack and take her down. Kiba versus Karin. That's actually a really good fight. Karin has very strong earth and water style, but Kiba has really strong water and earth. Well, they both have really strong water and earth style. So Karin actually makes 3 water clones that run at Kiba. While Kiba would end up using his earth style. Let's find some earth style jutsu. So Kiba would end up using his earth style headhunter jutsu on one of Karin's clones. And then as he uses it, he would end up jumping in the air, as he then uses a bottomless swamp jutsu. Karin would actually like being trapped. She would use a syrup trap jutsu to make sticky water around Kiba's feet, and then she would end up using earth style earth divide, which basically separates the ground. Kiba falls in it as Karin is able to pull herself out of the swamp. Then this when Karin would end up jumping in the air, using hand seals, yelling earth style golem jutsu. The giant golem of earth comes from Karin's hand, jumping towards Kiba. Kiba and Akamaru do Fang over Fang, and it ends up pushing the golem back. But then eventually, Karin would end up seeing Akamaru about to fall on top of Kiba, which gives her an opening to use an added weight jutsu. She uses on Akamaru, which makes Kiba not being able to move Akamaru. Akamaru can't really move himself because he's too heavy. And so the Kiba submitting. So yeah, that's the longest fight that lasted longer than 10 minutes. Not from what I said, but in the Naruto verse, that's 10 minutes. Neji versus Lee, that's one of the fights. Now this fight usually starts off with Lee going in gate 1, with Neji going into gate 2. So Lee versus Neji, as these two are almost at equal speed, because weightless Rock Lee in gate 1 beats Neji in any gate except for gate 2. Well, Neji has to go to gate 2 to keep up with weightless Rock Lee in gate 1. So Neji goes to that gate using his Byakugan, and these two begin clashing. Now eventually Neji ends up being able to coat his arm in chakra, and ends up stabbing at Neji. Well, not Neji. Neji would coat his arm in chakra, stabbing at Rock Lee. Rock Lee tries to block it, not realizing that's going to stab him. But eventually, when he does realize, he dodges, but it leads to a very deep cut on his arm. And he's then putting Neji in an arm breaker, which Neji, like the whole thing, Neji has to break his arm to get out of it, which he will do with no problem. He breaks it, jumps away, versus at Rock Lee again. And so this leads to Neji weaving hand tools with one hand and making one shadow clone. Shadow clone, and Neji began doing an 84 palm, 64 palm rotation, but it's more or less like 3 hands doing it. It's the clone just have a broken arm. So as they've been doing it, the barrier is larger, and it ends up with Lee getting hit into chakra points, which makes Lee not being able to like use his chakra as much as he can. Then eventually they hit the pressure points, and Lee the gate shuts down, which makes Lee shocked as he didn't feel the pressure points get hit. But it leads to Neji uppercutting Lee across the face, knocking him out. Then Gaara versus Choji. Choji can get as big as he can using his body and fights Lee. Not Lee, that's Gaara. Now there was Choji had a fight and Gaara was able to fight, so Gaara ended up joining the fight. But Gaara saw how big Choji was and said, "Time to try this out." He bites his thumb and was on the ground and summoned Shukaku. When Shukaku appears, Shukaku then begins slapping around Choji like he's nothing. But eventually Choji ends up grabbing Shukaku's tail, pulling it and tearing it off and hitting Shukaku across the face with it. And Choji only uses his own Earth style. Earth style, Rock clone. And as he makes a giant clone of Earth, that's as big as Choji. Like expansion Choji. Then that's when Choji both Choji's then yell, yelling as they yell. Diamond body. Again punching Shukaku around. And eventually Shukaku is able to use a powerful wind style. And that wind style is What should I have him use? Actually, I'll have him use Wind Style, Wind Bullet. At least shoots it through Choji, and Choji's Earth Style isn't strong enough to block it off, like block off the attack because Shukaku. So it ends up in the result of Choji having one hole through his leg, which makes Choji get nervous, as the clone had a hole through his head, and it kills him. It kills the clone. Choji basically submits because of how much blood's pouring out of his leg. And he goes like normal, and then, yeah. So Choji ends up submitting. Karin ends up helping Choji. Yeah, then she also helps Neji. That, but yeah. Now, eventually, once that ends, they end up kind of like Sasuke. He came back, but like barely. By the way, just meant like he came back like 5 minutes before he was gonna be disqualified. And Sasuke did not find Itachi, by the way. He didn't find him at all. Now, by the end of the exams, Naruto walks up to Tamari, Gaara, and Kankuro, questioning, do you guys want to stay in the Hidden Leaf? Their father's with them at this point, as he's why do they want to stay? So Naruto has an idea. Why doesn't the Hidden Leaf absorb the Hidden Sand? Why? Why not? Now, not the right Kage. The Kage is questioning, are you declaring war? Hiruzen already knows if Naruto does declare war, Hiruzen cannot stop it. He cannot. Naruto's stronger than him. So, that's what Naruto would say. If he is, if Kazekage takes it that way, then yes, he is. Usually, doesn't the shinobi surrounding Naruto? But Naruto legit makes a clone that yells Naruto Stream, shooting Naruto forward using Gale Palm, and Naruto then uses Chidori, but one of those palm strikes the Kazekage in the chest, and him flying to a wall. The shinobi. There's Sand Shinobi run Naruto, with Naruto using Wind Scythe, pushing them all back, with Kankuro and Tamari and Gaara knowing they can't do a thing. Kazekage stands up, running at Naruto again, but Naruto then just Weight Seal. As he jumps up, and hits the Kazekage in the back of the Weight Seal, and the Kazekage now feels weightless. He tries to use his sand, but his body having barely any weight to it, the sand is actually heavier than him, and he can't control it properly anymore. So Naruto then yells, Reversal Seal, as he opens the scroll, which leads to the sand going inside the scroll, and Naruto then has the scroll shoot the sand back out, crushing the Kazekage. Kazekage being pretty beaten now, and the sand shinobi saying that Kazekage was beaten in a matter of 5 minutes. They all immediately bow down before Naruto. Naruto bursts out laughing, saying, Alright, no need to bow. You guys are fine. But eventually, he looks at the Kazekage and says, Fine, sand can be absorbed by the Hidden Leaf. That's what Naruto says. Alright, thank you. Naruto palm strikes from the barriers for the Hidden Leaf, and it's palm strikes all the barriers then sink into the ground. Then Earth covers the barriers that were sunk in the ground, and that's what Naruto would say. Alright, I'll travel to the Hidden Sand with you. Sasuke agrees to come with Naruto, and basically all the Konoha 12, there's the Konoha 12 do. So they do that, and eventually it only takes a matter of around 1 week to have the Konoha and the Hidden Sand absorbed into each other. And anything that was in the way of the sand and the land of wind and the land of fire, everything that was in the way is destroyed. Even if it's mountains, they're destroyed, and eventually leads to one giant village. Now, I'm gonna pause for the name for it. So the Hidden Leaf Village is bigger, and things that would attach to a big tree would be leaves or branches. And this leads to the Hidden Leaf Village the Hidden Sand branched onto the Hidden Leaf Village, which ended up making the Hidden Leaf really big, and I'm going to call that village the Hidden Tree Village. And now, Naruto is not an elder, but he's basically the leader of the clan heads. Hiruzen, so there's basically 3 circles of the government in the Hidden Tree Village. Now, first one would be basically the surface level that everyone knows of, is a civilian council. Second level, which is the part that Naruto's a part of, that would be like the how do I say this? The clan heads of every clan. That every ninja clan, the heads of those clans are in this one. The Haruno clan is part of this now instead of being civilian council, as Sakura made that clan so strong that they are now called a shinobi clan. Sasuke is able to be part of this, and Naruto would represent the many Uzumakis. Then the one above that, which barely anyone knows of, but they know that Naruto's a part of it. Not Naruto, that Hiruzen part of it. It's basically the elders plus, basically, so Danzo, Hiruzen, 2 elders, So Tsunade, Jiraiya, Hiruzen, Danzo, and the 2 elders. That's 6 people part of that government. And they control the other ones, but Danzo has the least control in it. Tsunade and Jiraiya and Hiruzen have the most control, because the villagers prefer them over everyone else. And Naruto, despite being a Jinchuriki, no one hates him. Also, Naruto ended up kind of like he ended up giving so much money to the Ichiraku Ramen that there's like one of the biggest corporations in the world, but they're based in the Hidden Leaf, and they travel throughout. Like, there's like people that want to work there now for fun. But yeah, they pay pretty well, and Karin works here part time. So yeah, now eventually Kisame and Itachi are looking for the Hidden Leaf Village, but they have to go pretty far to find it, as Itachi doesn't remember it being this far. Then until he sees what the Hidden Leaf really is, where it was before, saying it's pretty empty, even though Kage Mountain's gone. But then they end up going farther into the barrier, not the barrier, like the border between the hidden, like the land of wind and the land of fire. They go to the border, and they see in the middle of it a gigantic village. They then see the Hokage monument, plus Kage faces are under it. And they all see that it is. Also, by the way, about like the other form of government, since like, we don't know any like prominent clans in the Hidden Sand besides like the Kage family, which is Gaara's family, they're immediately boosted up like the third form of government, which is the elders plus Gaara's family. Well, Gaara and his father mainly attend the meetings, no, not siblings. They mainly attend the second form of government meetings. But yeah, now when Itachi sees it, he's amazed at how big the Hidden Leaf is. And at the gate, he sees Izumo and Kotetsu, who he instantly feels who are stronger. Izumo and Kotetsu are now elite Jonin. And as soon as it's touching Kisame within 10 feet of the village, they're surrounded by dozens of shinobi. Dozens. From Hidden Sand, from Hidden Leaf. Their outfits, by the way, they're no longer like brownish. Sorry. Alright, so the outfits of Konoha and the Hidden Sand, the Hidden Leaf outfits are no longer green. The Hidden Sand outfits are no longer brownish. They're more like pause real quick. Yeah, the hidden tree village outfits are now black, like for every shinobi, and the symbol is still a leaf, but the leaf like on the leaf seems to like dots that would indicate grains of sand. So just to indicate that they're united. So yeah, Itachi sees this and questions what's happened. As in just to mess with Itachi and Kisame. They all like, oh, never mind. They're not our problem. As they look at Itachi's head dancing, oh, he's not part of us. They walk off. Itachi's like, I'm Rogue Shinobi from the Hidden Leaf Village. You guys not care? That's when one of the Shinobi, like the leader of that group says, oh, this is a Hidden Tree Village. The Hidden Leaf doesn't exist anymore. As they walk inside the village, Izumo Kotetsu can't help but bust out laughing, saying, you not keep up to date with what happened? And basically, Itachi like just sits down as Izumo Kotetsu. They don't see Itachi as a threat anymore. He's confused and calm. Well, not calm. He's confused and a little pissed off because he wasn't notified of this. Basically, what happened is that's what Kotetsu and Izumo say. Basically, Naruto ended up turning a lot of people into Uzumaki using his yin and yang release, his powerful yin and yang release, and with that, he also ended up like basically people call him the strongest clan head in history now. Plus, he had a lot of people take down Orochimaru's group. Orochimaru's Hidden Sound group ended up being absorbed too. And all the prisoners from the north, every other base is now citizens of the Hidden Leaf, but they're not all Uzumaki. They're kind of just random villagers now. But we talk about everything, and eventually Itachi gets caught up to speed on how Naruto basically declared war on the Hidden Sand and solved it in a matter of 5 minutes. And the cost was if they lost, then they have to be absorbed in the Hidden Leaf. But instead of being absorbed, they kind of combined in the Hidden Tree. So yeah. And the Kage, there's 2 Kage, like 2 leaders. That would be the leader of Konoha and the leader of the Hidden Sand. That basically, these are called, so I should name them too. So, Edakages, like Edakages, like EDA Kage. Like, that basically is like branch Kages. And the leaders are now Rasa and Hiruzen. Those are the 2 leaders. But Itachi then takes off his Takatsuki cloak and takes off the headband. Kisame will do the same. Kisame keeps his headband in his pocket while Tachi does the same. They drop the cloaks and walk in the village. And no one attacks them, seeing them if they wanted, if they were going to be killed, they would send out one of the clan heads or one of the Konoha 12. At least Shikamaru and Naruto, Sakura. So I don't want to say Sakura like that. Shikamaru, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. They're the strongest of the Konoha 12. Shikamaru at least is on Kisame's level, at least. Sasuke can drop Kisame easily, so can Sakura, so can Naruto. Naruto can drop Kisame and Itachi with ease. Sasuke and Itachi are almost equals. Almost. Itachi has a little bit of an edge. But eventually they walk into Edakage's office, and they see Rasa, Hiruzen, and the rest of the elders discussing. Eventually Hiruzen would bring up saying that, Tsunade or Jiraiya should be a Kage. And Jiraiya's spy network ended up going over, they found out all of Orochimaru's bases. They don't need to exist anymore. So they end up being absorbed in the Hidden Leaf. So Jiraiya doesn't have anything else to do, so he actually agrees to become a Kage this time. And Itachi walks in with no one being shocked. They're probably let into the village. They're not dead yet. And Itachi's questioning, what happened? Me and him are rogue shinobi, we should be killed. But across the room they see Zabuza and Haku, as Zabuza says. I sent you two come in, and I should have killed Kisame immediately, but I'll let him speak. And eventually Itachi starts talking to Hiruzen, and Hiruzen just says, Itachi, your mission can be over. Your mission can be over. Sasuke immediately teleports into the room using Flying Raijin. Yes, he learned that. Teleports in, saying, I sense Itachi, where is he? And he sees Itachi saying, oh, right there. Well, he walks up to Itachi. So still noticeable height difference, but they talk for a bit. And as they talk, Itachi eventually thinks that Sasuke is pretty angry with him until Sasuke hugs Itachi, saying, I looked all over for you, telling you to come back to the Hidden Leaf. Couldn't find you. Itachi says, but I killed the Uchiha. Sasuke says, I know you didn't. You could have done it, but you're not that stupid. I know it. Itachi then says, I don't know if I should be offended or not. Sasuke then chuckles, saying, be what you want, but I know it wasn't you. This when Naruto walks in, saying, oh, Itachi, there you are. Hi. Itachi then says, Naruto? Itachi just feels the chakra and doesn't think it's Naruto, because the last time he sensed Naruto, it was it's chakra, but not this intense. Kisame then says, 9 tails. That's what Naruto says. Yes, and the 9 tails. Got a problem with it? Kisame says, no, sir. Kisame can't even be rude to Naruto. That's how fearful he is. But Naruto looks at Itachi and Sasuke, saying, you two, come with me. Naruto leads those two away, and they go to the Hidden Leaf prison. Naruto ends up going to the point of it, and he opens the door to reveal Orochimaru chained up with seals that make sure he can't move. But Naruto takes him off as Itachi questions how'd they catch Orochimaru? That's when Naruto says, I beat him up. Or Sasuke did first. But I joined in a bit. Let's Orochimaru go as Orochimaru doesn't try to escape or fight back. He sees Itachi, Sasuke, and Naruto. He can't escape. That's when Naruto throws down some stuff and throws in a bag of bones. Itachi knows it's a bag of bones because he hears the rattling of bones. Orochimaru sees the bones and says, what do you want me to do? Naruto says, what are the bones of Shisui Uchiha? I want you to bring it back to life. Or, present another bag of bones, saying, these are both of Fugaku Uchiha. Resurrect them both. Alright. That's when not Itachi. That's when Orochimaru says, I'll try. He leaves the hand seals for reanimation jutsu and brings them back. And as he looks at them, it's Shisui and Shisui and Fugaku look around. They didn't see Itachi, Sasuke, Naruto, and Orochimaru. And Orochimaru's covered in sweat and fearful. Shisui questions what happened. That's when Itachi will say, you died. You killed yourself after telling me what happened to you. But the elders would probably wouldn't believe me. And this one Fugaku explains what happened to him. Multiple shinobi from other villages killed him. Dozens of them. He's all hidden cloud, hidden sand, hidden leaf. Every village's outfit that he knew of, he's all outfit of them. That's what Naruto says. The Hanbo really that dumb to clone themselves into outfits like that? Never mind. You two come with me. They go to Naruto's man, ordering them around. Itachi then says, I wouldn't talk to him like that. He's the Uzumaki king, basically. Like, he's the strongest shinobi alive at this point. They're shocked by that, and with that statement from Itachi, they already know it's true, so they follow Naruto. The elders, and like the elders are shocked, and they have like civilian council and the clan heads there, plus Danzo, the two elders, Tsunade, Jiraiya, and Hiruzen, plus every other elder from the Hidden Sand. Shisui will look at Danzo saying, "You took my Sharingan, and you killed me with help of your Anbu." Danzo says, "What are you talking about? There's no such thing." Fyoku says, "And your dumbass Anbu call themselves to look like Hidden Sand Shinobi, Hidden Cloud Shinobi, Hidden Stone Shinobi, Hidden Mist Shinobi, Hidden Grass Shinobi. So many villages attack the Uchiha. Who would do that? Who's dumb enough to do it? The Hidden Cloud doesn't want us. No village wants us except for the Hidden Leaf. That's why we're here." Ando kind of just gets embarrassing. Damn it! Ando tears off like the bandage on his arm, revealing the shotgun on his arm. He lifts up like the bandage on his eye, revealing his Mangekyo. As Nathan says, "So pointless." He appears behind Danzo with all eyes in one, all eyes and Naruto just disappears from sight, grabbing multiple jars. Once all set around the table, Naruto then appears behind Danzo, and Danzo can't even see what happens as all the eyes are torn out of his head. Not on both of them, just one of them. Then all the other eyes are torn from his arm, put in the jars. That's what Naruto will say. "Alright, done. Was it that hard?" He looks at Shisui, looks at like everyone else. Danzo says, "Damn it. How that fast?" Naruto punches Danzo in the gut, saying, "And you're unconscious." It's not that hard. Hiruzen says, "Naruto, compared to us, you're a god. It's hard for us to take down a Kage level shinobi." So Naruto says, "Wait, he's Kage level? Really? You sure?" Hiruzen nods saying, "We're sure. He's my rival." He was actually. I'm pretty sure stronger than him now. But what were we discussing? Jiraiya, the new Kage. Touchin says, "Oh, well, can I come back to Konoha?" As Hiruzen says, "Yes." Tachi starts coughing up blood. Still, Naruto holds out his arm, saying, "Bite down." Tachi sees multiple bite marks, but Tachi's a little nervous, but does bite down. As he bites down, he feels a little more healthy, and he does feel like his sickness is gone. So Naruto looks at Kisame saying, "You injured too?" As he holds out his other arm, Kisame just says, "No, I'm not injured." Naruto nods, saying, "Alright, good. Now, let's bring Danzo to prison and determine a sentence." He directs Danzo down to the prison cell where Orochimaru is, and he tells Orochimaru, "Hey, if I turn you into Uzumaki, well, you promise to stay in the compound and not really do anything else, but, well, first off, we want all of your technology. All of it. First off, we want that." Orochimaru can nod profusely, saying, "Yes, all of it. There's bases that I have hidden, but they don't only have technology. Not no shinobi there. None." As Naruto says, "Alright, good. Tells the locations, and then we'll go find them." Orochimaru nods profusely as Naruto turns him into Uzumaki. Half Uzumaki, though, not full Uzumaki. Orochimaru tells Naruto where everything is, and that's when Naruto tells Hiruzen, and Hiruzen sends out shinobi to go grab them. The Hiruzen goes, the shinobi go and grab all the technology and bring them back to the Hidden Leaf, and once it's all there, they end up evolving the Hidden Leaf. Now, the time skip. The Katsuki already heard about Kisame and Itachi leaving them, but they already first off, there are new Kakuzu left from Hidan. Hidan grew his head back, by the way. Grew back. I heard mention that, but it's actually the Katsuki all trained as hard as they can for those 2 years. So yeah, the Tsunade Triple arc doesn't happen. It happened when Naruto was like 7. But yeah, now 2 years time skip. This time, Itachi and Sasuke trade their eyes, or not traded. They took their eyes out and gave them to each other, both unlocking Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. Naruto would end up turning more people into Uzumaki, so I'm gonna figure out who to turn into Uzumaki. Okay, so the 2 year time skip is gonna be a little bit bigger. As when Naruto gets back, he's 16. Well, time skip happens, he's 16. But I'm gonna make the time skip last around when time skip happens, Naruto be like 13, 14. So time skip would boost around like 5-6 years. To Naruto is around 20. Sasuke and basically all the Konoha 12 or 20. Well, Karin is Konoha 13. But the ranks now. Well, also everything happened in that time. Asuma and Kurenai. Asuma is not dead. The Katsuki are still training. But Asuma and Kurenai had a kid. So that kid is born. Mirai is still born. So, yeah, at that time, Tsunade and Jiraiya they didn't still have a kid. They had a kid this time. As Jiraiya's not dead. Their kid is around Mirai's age. Shizune and Kakashi get together. They have a daughter that's 2 years younger than Mirai and their daughter. So, what's the name of? They're naming the daughter Mito after Tsunade's grandmother. So Mito is Jiraiya, Tsunade's kid. Mirai and so Mirai would be like. So Mirai and Mito are going to be. They're gonna be like 5, while Kakashi and Shizune have a kid that. Their daughter's gonna be named Sakuna. Sakuna instead of Sakumo, because they have a daughter. Like only girls have been born this year, so I need to put down Mito, and then All right, so Naruto at this point is now 20, and Naruto had a few kids. So yes, he's 20 and already has kids. So Naruto at this point wanted to restore his clan as fast as he can. So some things happened. I already went over some of it. I'm gonna go over it just to refresh my memory. Mito, Tsunade and Jiraiya's kid, and named after Tsunade's not great grandmother, but Tsunade's grandmother. And Mito is a girl. Then Sakuna is named after Kakashi's father. But if Sakuna was a girl, I assume it'd be Sakuna. Sakuna is a girl. And Shizune is Sakuna's mother. Rita. Yeah, Rita. Even though it sounds like a girl name, it's a boy's name, and it is Itachi and Toyuya's. Yes, Itachi and Toyuya, because I don't know who else to put together. I was aged up Toyuya. Boruto, Naruto and Hina. Boruto in this one was born when Hinata and Naruto were around 17. Then Himawari and Boruto are twins right now, because I made them same age just to help me. So Hinata and Naruto gave birth to twins that were Himawari and Boruto. And Subite. That's not wrong group of kids. So back to I'm going over Uzumaki kids. Oh yeah, Seiko. That's Naruto and Karin's son. And Seiko was born when Naruto was 16. So it's Karin. Mayo. That is Naruto and Isha. Yes, Isha is Karin's mother. Naruto was able to make her fertile, even though she was not supposed to have kids yet. Well, not yet, again. And Mayo is a boy. Kabu, that is Lee and Haku's boy. And yes, Haku's a girl. Haku's also Uzumaki now. Haku gave birth to a boy. That was Kabu. Metal Lee, that you can understand that Lee and Haku gave birth to twins or boys. And Shikadai, Tamari ended up becoming an Uzumaki on Naruto. Naruto offered the Sand siblings to just turn into Uzumakis. The Sand siblings agreed, and Tamari is half Uzumaki. Gaara is full Uzumaki, but no one notices. And Kankuro is 25% Uzumaki. So Shikadai is now part Uzumaki. That's Shikamaru and Tamari. They gave birth to Shikadai at the same age they do in canon, and Shikadai is the baby. And basically the whole relationship I'm trying to set up is Shikadai and Boruto will be like master and Shikadai Shikadai was born same time as Boruto a few months earlier though. Mitsuki, Orochimaru's son. Orochimaru's conducting experiments to see if he can have if the kids will still be strong if he uses DNA from different people. Now Mitsuki is Uzumaki. He's 80% Uzumaki and 80% Uzumaki, 20% Orochimaru, whatever he is. Because Orochimaru is still an Uzumaki, but really use any of Orochimaru's DNA. They use old Orochimaru DNA from his experiments. Sarada, Sasuke is an Uchiha. No, he's an Uchiha and an Uzumaki. He's both now, 25%. So is Itachi. They turn into Uzumaki just so they don't get sick or go blind from their Mangekyo in case they mess it up, because they don't know the full extent because they barely use them to fight anymore. Sarada, she's 50% Uzumaki, 15%. And Shinki, Gaara's kid, is 50% Uzumaki. Gaara's significant other, who's gonna remain unnamed, Now we're gonna go on to the non-Uzumaki kids. Subite. That is Neji and Tenten's kid. Subite basically means all-seeing. And then Wasabi, Kiba, and Tamaki's kid. Tamaki is a girl that Kiwa dates. Chocho, self-explanatory. Chocho, well, she's not born yet, but I'll talk about her in a bit. But Chocho is going to be born soon. Sumire was born from one of Donzo's men, and basically it was an experiment. Donzo is in prison. Sumire was born in 1 year after Boruto. Iwabe. Iwabe is not born yet, I believe. He's not born yet. If he is, then, yeah. He's going to be a baby. Inojin. Sai was released from Donzo's Anbu and was living a normal life with Ino, and they gave birth to Ino. Ino gave birth to Inojin 1 year after Boruto was born. Denki. He's not born yet. Shin. That's like Shin with like all the Sharingan. So that guy, he is now Mitsuki's age. Looks like both Mitsuki and Boruto are the same age now. So Shin is now their age, and he's raised as Mitsuki's brother. They killed the original Shin. Well, Orochimaru killed the original Shin by himself, and that Shin experiment is remade with only Uchiha DNA. So those are all the kids right now. Now during these, pause one more time, go to the bathroom. All right, so basically throughout these 6 years, all those kids were born, and a lot of them were born earlier due to Naruto wanting to restore his clan, and the people that like, if you're part of the Uzumaki or Uzumaki DNA, you were forced to repopulate. You were forced to at a young age. By Naruto, mainly. And the young age would more likely be like 16 through 20, were like the age people had to like repopulate their clan. So there's quite a bit of people in the Uzumaki clan now, and the ones that weren't Uzumaki, they saw other ones repopulating, and then so on and so forth. They joined in the fun. So yeah. Now, Naruto would end up seeing how to go. Like he's the Kage at this point. Like it's been since 6 years. Jiraiya was the 5th Hokage. He ended up giving up the title when Naruto was around 19. That's when Naruto took over the Hidden Leaf. Not the Hidden Leaf, the Hidden Tree Village. Gaara is now Naruto's associate in the Edo Kage. As the Edo Kage. Then Naruto's personal advisor is going to be. His personal advisor is going to be. I'm going to say. Who should it be? I'm giving personal advisor post to Shikamaru still. Yeah, Shikamaru's still Naruto's advisor. Gaara's advisor is Tamari. So yeah, now Naruto seeing the Hidden Leaf, plus Naruto's wood release actually helped the village. As I forgot to bring up Naruto's wood release. Like he's really good with it, like better than Hashirama level. Now during this time, so. Eventually, Naruto ends up like seeing he ends up seeing like starting something in the distance. That something in the distance is a giant flag. As he's on Hokage Mountain, just admiring his village. That's so technological. Like it's the highest technology in the village. Orochimaru is in charge of it, so along with Denki and his dad. Well, Denki's dad. Well, Denki isn't born yet, but Denki's dad is there, in charge of it. Naruto in the distance sees a giant flag, and that giant flag would say, "We want war." Naruto used sensory abilities to track where it was, and we found out who was holding the flag. He teleported there immediately. And he found Karui and Omoi. They said this is a message from the Raikage and other allied nations. Naruto just said, I don't care, just get away from my village. I don't want my villagers seeing this. Karui tries to punch Naruto, but Naruto backhanding Karui so hard he gets sent flying a very decent distance away. Omoi seeing what he just did to Karui, knowing how strong Naruto is, became the Uzumaki, knows he's probably holding back against Karui. So Omoi just bows, saying he apologized, grabbed the flag, and moved. Now, what happened was the Akatsuki basically, they went to every village, telling the Kage, the Hidden Hidden Tree Village, because they're so powerful, so let's put them in their place. And this time they're not hunting Jinchuriki. They stopped hunting Jinchuriki right after they found out Kakuzu defected. They stopped hunting until Beast and more or less trying to just grow stronger. So, yeah. Now, once every village allied themselves with the Akatsuki, they grew into one nation, and the villages that weren't allied with anyone joined in. The Hidden Rain reluctantly joined. But the Hidden Rain sent a very good operative. That operative being one of the Pain Paths. Pain Path ended up putting on a cloak that was an Akatsuki cloak and hid itself. Now, that path was not Yayaki's part. It was more like the Ashura path. The Ashura path went into the Hidden Leaf village, and it asked me to meet with the Kage. It was urgent. So Naruto gets the meeting as the clone takes his head off, revealing the Rinnegan, which Naruto is shocked about, but Ashura is talking, and Naruto reveals it's an Akatsuki. It reveals it's an Akatsuki member, but leader of the Akatsuki, or not Shadow, the Shadow leader is Madara Uchiha. The leader that everyone thinks is in charge is an Uzumaki. Now he's planning to join Naruto once he's able to get away from the Akatsuki. Plus, his wife and him want to join. The wife's pregnant, and that wife being Konan. Not Naruto. Konan isn't pregnant yet. Never mind, I have no idea. Konan isn't pregnant, so Naruto is able to Ashura is able to tell Naruto that every village is allied with the Akatsuki except for the Hidden Rain. The Hidden Rain's kind of on the edge of it. So yeah. Now the only reason Hidden Rain is not allied with it is because they've seen enough enough war, so they're done with it, and the Akatsuki is okay with that. Obito understands. Now, after around a month of waiting, the Shinobi and the Hidden Leaf are ready. Boruto is a Geni, basically. So Boruto, Reta, Sakuna, Mito, Himawari, Seiko, Meo, Kabu, Metal Lee, Shikadai, Mitsuki, Sarada. Those are all Genin. They're trying to become Genin. Shinki is Gaara's kid, by the way. But yeah, once they're all ready for, they're more like they're back up. They're more supposed to evacuate the village into the hidden room inside the Kage Mountain. Now, Naruto ends up meeting the Akatsuki with every other village in front, and all the other Shinobi in the village are wearing cloaks. And these cloaks have different colors for their village on them. Now, Naruto's looking at them saying, "Alright, is there any reason you guys all came to a village for a petty war?" Akatsuki says, "Yes, we've grown too powerful. We need to put you in your place." Yugen says, as he's so old, he has a cane, his eyes are covered by skin that's wrinkly. Yugen says, "Oh, can't we just let this pass? We were strong a long time ago. This never happened then." He does, "Shut up, you old man." As he goes lariat Hiruzen, but as soon as he goes to try that, Jiraiya just appears in front of A, grabbing him by the face and squeezing so hard, fusing him with chakra, basically almost crushing A's skull. But A, when it makes pain, will grab Jiraiya's arm and begin crushing it. Jiraiya then says, "Crush it all you want. I'll kill you first." Plus, going for an old man isn't smart. He then throws A back, as A and Jiraiya are equals. Jiraiya and A get in a fighting stance, as then Jiraiya then says, "Alright, Naruto, I'll be back." Jiraiya puts his body in a lightning aura and then disperses. Not disperses, but leaves. A follows Jiraiya as those two begin fighting in the distance. Killer B walks up to Naruto saying, "Yo, you must be the Ninja Jinchuriki." It says Edo. That's what Naruto then says, I can guess you're the annoying Jinchuriki of the Eight Tails." Killer B says, "Yeah." Gaara then wraps Sandcoffin right around B, sending him flying in the air, saying, "Alright, we have no time for you." He sends B flying right towards A. Even though that's basically a death sentence for Jiraiya, so now he runs after B. Gaara didn't see where he flung B. But Kakashi and Tsunade go running after B. And Kakashi at this point is Minato's level of strength. Minus if Minato doesn't have KCM. Minato and Kakashi are equals. And Kakashi, he did Master's Mangekyo, he knows how to use it. Also, if you were to go blind, then or if he's about to go blind, there's enough healers that are strong enough to basically negate blindness. So Kakashi can't go blind. But yeah, now as the rest of the Akatsuki look at Naruto would just start walking back with Gaara as all Naruto should know. The ones that don't really fight are Sasuke, Itachi, Naruto, Sasuke, Itachi, and Gaara. Those four don't really fight. They're too strong to be in the fight. So Naruto will stay on top. He most just sits down on the gate protecting the village with Sasuke, Itachi, and Gaara as they watch the fights. Now we're gonna go over to Jiraiya and Tsunade and Kakashi versus B and A. A is able to incapacitate Tsunade pretty easily by uppercutting her in the gut, which knocks her out. B ends up fighting Jiraiya. He ends up fighting Kakashi. Kakashi and him are equals at that point, as B got stronger. Eventually, as B and Kakashi end up fighting, Kakashi then says, "Alright, time to end this." Kakashi jumps in the air as he yells, "Chidori!" And coats it in purple lightning. And to top it off, he ends up making his like Kakashi. He learned to like limit the distance. Like he can't use Kamui in his own body, but he's able to target on certain limbs that he can see. Not like his just rest of his body, but certain limbs that he can see. He ends up using Kamui on his hand to make B think he's gonna kill him. So as B goes to block, not Kamui, he goes to block Chidori. The Chidori goes right through B's tentacle, not even cutting it, and the Chidori ends up slapping B down to the ground. Then Kakashi then he looked at B, checking if the ceiling formula was there, and it was. Kakashi then appeared right in front of B, slamming his head into the ground using enhanced strength, which knocks him out. Edo was that was insanely fast. Go to Jiraiya and A, as Jiraiya is able to copy A's like lightning cloak almost perfectly, but A has a little bit of a speed advantage. So A and Jiraiya begin clashing. Little A about to punch off Jiraiya's head, but it leads as soon as his fist gets near Jiraiya, A feels an intense amount of pain and he questions what happened. But then he sees a lightning-infused kunai right through his arm. That was Kakashi. That's when Jiraiya would grab A by the neck and slam him on the ground. A is repeatedly slammed on the ground by Jiraiya until A is unconscious. Jiraiya then uses a seal that makes sure all their chakra is sealed off and they can't use it anymore. Tons of shinobi then surround them, and this leads to just Jiraiya sighing like, "Oh, come on." And they see these shinobi are kind of reanimated. They see cracks in them, they see a lot of things wrong about them. And then in the distance, they see Kabuto running away. They notice Kabuto by his hair, half red, half white. One person that has hair like that is Kakashi, and he's right there. So, Kabuto. Kimaru's hair is completely red, so it can't be him. And Mitsuki too, but Mitsuki is 6, so he can't really fight. Well, he's not 6, but he's like 4 or 5, but yeah, never mind that. Now, so basically, as they see Kabuto running away, Jiraiya already knows how to release it, but with how strong Kabuto is, he doesn't know if that'll cut it, which it won't. Then when Kakashi begin taking down, taking down all the reanimations until all the reanimations are turned to piles of dust that are growing back, but leaves enough time for them to escape. Kakashi and Jiraiya report back to Naruto, saying reanimation is in effect because Kabuto betrayed us. Naruto ends up going down to Orochimaru's prison cell. Well, not really a prison cell, kind of like under a building that Orochimaru just stays in, like he's on a hermit. He's like a hermit right now. But he goes down there, Orochimaru would say, "I already know Kabuto is a rogue ninja." And then Naruto says, "How long have you known about it?" Orochimaru will say, probably about 2 days. After I figured out a lot of my sealing formulas were gone. Then I already tell it was probably from him. And with how strong he is, and what he's wrote about in the journal that I found, goes to Naruto, he goes to journal to Naruto, and says he's probably gonna try to resurrect clans. So Naruto reads through the journal, and then he gets a cold, something goes he gets cold sweats, and says, "Dear God." He then runs to Sasuke and Itachi, saying, "Alright, you two need to handle this." As he throws the journal to Sasuke, who catches it and opens it and reads it. Sasuke then falls over, saying, "Oh, this is gonna be so hard for us." And Itachi snatches it, saying, "That little." What Kabuto's planning to do is basically resurrect Hashirama, basically all the Kage that are dead. Plus, he wants to resurrect the whole Uchiha clan. The whole Uchiha clan. Like, if he can find their corpses, he's gonna bring them back. And he's gathered a lot of corpses. Even their bones, he's gathered a lot of them. And a lot of people are giving their life for it. Even if they're children, they're giving their life for it. So yeah. Now Kabuto begins doing it, and once all of them are reanimated, Kabuto with his chakra is able to make sure they can't escape by placing a certain seal on them, and basically like an obedience seal. Sherman's able to resist it a bit, but the point where he keeps his mind still free, like he can still speak freely. That's all the Kage can do. Like they can make sure they can speak freely. Only Kage available right now are Minato, Tobirama, and Hashirama. That's really it. Hiruzen's alive, but he's old. Like very old. Now, eventually, Minato knows what's probably gonna happen, but they end up Kage appear right in front of Naruto, Kakashi. They appear right in front of Minato. Minato, Hashirama, and Tobirama appear in front of Naruto, Sasuke, and Itachi. And they question who Naruto is and where's the hidden leaf, because they recognize the area, and Madara even appears with them, questioning where's the hidden leaf. So Naruto Hashirama did an eye, saying, I left it to myself to take away the hidden leaf. Hashirama and Tobirama are a little pissed. It was Madara. This also was Minato. They're just like, what you do with it? So that's what Naruto says. What I did was more or less fuse it with the hidden sand. I challenged them to a war, and I won in 5 minutes. So the cost, or their payment, was fusing the village with ours. We're now the hidden tree village, and I'm the first. I guess he'd be like the second Itakage or Edakage. Gaara's the second one too. Jiraiya. Hiruzen didn't have no before they made the title of Itakage. Hiruzen was still in charge. So basically, Jiraiya was the first one. Rasa was the first one, and then Jiraiya ended up passing it down to Naruto. Rasa passed it down to Gaara. So Naruto explained the whole situation, and that's when I see. So it made the hidden leaf better. Naruto points out all the technology, saying, obviously, that's who Naruto is, as Naruto says. I'm Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. And I'm the second Edakage of the hidden tree village. Or you can call me the King of Uzumaki. As Naruto's eyes turn dark red as he then goes in KCM2. As Naruto says, alright, this is gonna be a pretty hard fight. Gaara then nods. Not Gaara. Gaara's on this fighting some other reanimated Kage. He's fighting the reanimated Kage from the hidden sand village. He's fighting them, and he's doing pretty well at it. As Gaara is able to actually turn into Shukaku, but still maintain control of everything. So yeah, now Naruto ends up going to KCM2, plus his eyes are dark red, and then begins slowly turning purple, which is confusing the Kage. They're Minato's what the hell form is that? And then see Naruto's hand on his fingers. Here's in feet grow claws, indicating bird sage mode, and then his eyes grow a slit, kind of bird-like, and then the slit would end up appearing like the giant line, which would indicate frog sage mode. Then the line gets thinner, indicating sage, like the line down the middle would indicate snake sage mode. Basically, all sage mode that Naruto knows is being stacked on top of each other, which makes Naruto basically stronger than Sage's 6 paths. As Naruto looks at Hashirama and Madara in their eyes, saying, me and you are having some fun. Suddenly, a loud boom is heard as Hashirama, Madara, and Naruto are gone. Now, Naruto appears with Hashirama and Madara around the realm where they appear in Mount Miyaboku, and it's completely empty. What happened was Naruto basically made his own paradise for them, where they basically live free. They live free. Every summoning animal lives free in one area, as long as they don't eat each other. Naruto says, alright, it's time to bring these out. I haven't done it in a while. Well, first, Hashirama make clones that summon the wood dragon, the wood golem, basically every wood giant they can. And then we have Madara, who will just be ready for a fight by summoning. He doesn't summon the Nine Tails, he can't summon it. But makes a clone that transforms into the Nine Tails and boosts its power. That's what Naruto then says. This makes it a little more fun for myself. And he actually just appears, and Hashirama and the Madara Hashirama and Madara reanimations get stronger, to the point where they're basically on the level of adult Naruto in Boruto. They're that strong. But adult Naruto and Boruto, even in Baryon mode, is nothing to Gaara at that point. This Gaara is incredibly strong. This Naruto's planetary level easily. With no effort, he's planetary level. But this war will probably eradicate a good portion of the Land of Fire. But Madara gets ready to fight Naruto, as his power is now, the clone's power that turned into Nine Tails is now on the level of beyond the Nine Tails. When Naruto places his hand on the ground, yelling, "Summoning Jutsu!" While Gamakishi ended up being summoned, Konohamaru would end up running Naruto, questioning, can I do something to help? As Naruto points out, make sure the points where all villagers are being held is protected. We don't want them hurt. Konohamaru would nod as he yells, "Summoning Jutsu," making Gamatotsu appear, and Gamatotsu jumps away. Kichi's under Naruto. Then we have who else was it? Oh, yeah, the white snake sage, because that's Naruto's summoning animal. Then we also have like the giant bird. That's Naruto's other summoning. Just basically every summoning animal that you can imagine is there, unless they belong in water. But other summoning animals that belong on land are there, and Naruto looks Madara and Hashirama dead in the eyes. And he says, "All right, we shall fight. We shall start the fight now." As Naruto then jumps up, ready to punch them, and he punches the air as the shockwave is emitted, pushing Madara and Hashirama back. But then Naruto appears right at Hashirama, punching him in the air as Madara appears behind Naruto, trying to kick him in the air. But Naruto will dodge pretty easily, as Naruto then yells, "Flaming Palm." It's Madara with it, and the flames are blue, shooting Madara and basically into the ash. Madara is able to rebuild himself, and this fight will go on for a while. Gaara versus Eri Katakage 1 through Rasa. Now Rasa's died of old age, but as Gaara's fighting them, basically just a complete wash. Gaara's like, if they shoot sand or something at Gaara can match it with any one of the 5 chakra natures, plus his own sand. And Gaara's like turned into Shukaku to do this. So Gaara's just sitting down, weaving hand seals. That's really it. His magnet release is really strong too. Plus he has Scorch release, which yeah. Any Genkai that was in the hidden sand, Gaara has. That's how strong he is. But we're going to go to another battlefield. Where in this fight it is Pain versus Sasuke. Pain is just legit like Sasuke helping him towards all the civilians, while Sasuke is just making sure that Pain isn't touched. And then, like Konan sneaking in Naga's actual body and taking him into the Uzumaki compound, and they bring him downstairs where some people are. Only people that are down there is just like Himawari. That's really it. Himawari's down there because it's really protected and it's infused with Naruto's chakra. Himawari and Boruto are down there actually. All the kids there like Mito, Sakuna, Reta, Boruto, Himawari, Seiko, Mayo, Kabu, Medali, Shikadai, Mitsuki, Sarada, Shinki. They're all down there just being protected by the basement. They bring Nagato down there, and while he's down there, he kind of just chills. The Konan. Konan just kills all of the shinobi that aren't from their side. Well, from the hidden leaves, from the hidden branch sides. Now Konan takes off her jacket, or like her hidden leaf cloak, and her Akatsuki cloak, and begins fighting on the hidden branches side. Now, fast forward to when the war is over. The war is over, the hidden branch, like half of it's gone. Like, it's gone. A and B didn't wake up till after the war. Obito, like, the last person left is Obito. Madara was able to come back in the middle of the fight. So Zetsu, Obito, Madara, that's all that's left of like the evil side. All the rest of the side end up submitting to Naruto if they didn't die. But on the good side, we have Kakashi, Naruto, Gaara, who actually won pretty easily. Chio died of old age, by the way, so she wasn't able to participate. Kimimaru easily killed Sasori. Jugo ended up killing Deidara, like he's nothing. So yeah, like, all the Akatsuki are dead except for like Kakuzu, who didn't fight. Kakuzu had like focus on evacuating any nearby areas, like to make sure that the wildlife was safe. People were safe. Kakuzu was being a good person. But yeah, now when Obito, Madara, and Zetsu are just about to give up, Zetsu will plunge his fist right through Madara's chest and end up turning into Kaguya. And then Kaguya, seeing Shirley outmatched still, will end up finding some way to signal more Otsutsuki. The people she signals happen to be Jigen. And so she signaled Jigen. Let me find more Otsutsuki for her. So Kaguya ends up finding some way to signal Momoshiki, Kenshiki, Toneri, Jigen/Ishiki, and Urashiki. Once they all start flying towards Earth, Naruto feels her chakra and lets them come. By the time they arrive, Naruto is just ready, like waiting for a fight in his base form. Like he overestimated Madara and Hashirama and used this power. Like, it was too easy for him. Like, he powered down halfway through the fight just to beat them in his base form. And in his base form, he's still planetary level. In full power, Naruto is basically a monster. I'm comparing him to around, like, he is multi-planetary as base form. He might be universal at full power because of all the stuff he can do. He didn't even go all against Hashirama and Madara. That wasn't his all out. That was just him. He has his ultimate Baryon mode that he will never ever use because it's pointless. But yeah. Now, when everyone else arrives, when other Otsutsuki arrive, they sense Naruto's power and already knows they're mostly outmatched. Even if they aren't fighting alone. But this is when they'll have the idea to have Ishiki eat them, as he's the strongest. So Ishiki agrees and has them all turned into fruit and eats them. Ishiki powered up, basically the ultimate being. Now he's also multi-planetary. So he's on Naruto's level now. But Sasuke, Gaara, and basically everyone else that's left standing will challenge Ishiki and easily slap away until it's left to Naruto. When it's left to Naruto, that's when Naruto just stands up saying, "Alright, this should be fun." He pulls out his sword, which is, like, he calls it like a QB's claw. Let me find a proper name for it. So, the blade's named Sume. That's what blade you see in the picture right now. So Naruto pulls out Sume, and then just says, "Alright, come at me." So Ishiki runs at Naruto, as Naruto and Ishiki then begin battle. And Naruto's easily outmatched in his base form, as Naruto was almost killed in it for the first strike, because Ishiki will dodge the sword and punch Naruto in the chest, almost caving it in. But Naruto coughs up blood, chuckling, saying, "You don't have to do more than that." As Naruto then goes in KCM1, fighting Ishiki, so and it's a little bit faster. Ishiki is still dominating Naruto, until Naruto has to go into his Baryon form with Naruto without powering up anything else does not kill him. It won't kill the Nine Tails. Nine Tails is stronger than that. It's incredibly strong, like 10 Tails level at that point. I don't think I can call it the Nine Tails anymore because of how strong it is. It's 10 Tails level. Like Naruto trained with it for fun. He turned it into the 10 Tails by force. So Naruto went into Baryon form, not Ultimate Baryon form, but just Baryon form. Fighting Ishiki again and still losing. Until Naruto begins stacking on Snake Sage mode, which actually is putting pressure on him and Nine Tails' body. Until Naruto then begins going into his not his most powerful form, but his second most powerful form, which is he doesn't include Snake Sage mode anymore. He dispersed it, but through every other stage mode except for Snake Sage mode, and he's fighting Ishiki. Him and Ishiki are equals. At one point, Naruto stabs his blade through Ishiki's neck, and Ishiki plunges his fist through Naruto's gut. His fist is in Naruto's gut. Naruto throws up blood. Ishiki has to pull a blade out of his neck without it throwing up. Eventually, Ishiki and Naruto are on their backs, coughing up blood. And eventually, when Naruto stands up, he sees Himawari and all the kids of the Hidden Village, plus Konohamaru and Kakuzu run out, seeing that Naruto has a hole in his chest. Well, not in his chest, but in his stomach. But Naruto eventually will then just say, "Alright, I need to do this in my preferred way." He picks up his blade, and he makes a giant Rasengan at the tip of the sword. Rasengan ends up having Naruto go into Ultimate Baryon mode, which is, it's not going to kill the Nine Tails, or Naruto, by the way, but it's going to put extreme pressure on them to the point where they're probably going to put them in a coma. So Naruto eventually ends up going into Ultimate Baryon mode, which everyone feels his power, and the earth at the point is shaking just through the sheer pressure that Naruto's putting on it. And at this point, Naruto can straight with one punch. It puts all the power in Ultimate Baryon mode and the Rasengan at the end of the sword. Boruto walks up, channeling his chakra into the Rasengan, as everyone that can channel chakra into it does. Kakazu infuses his chakra into it, which is actually the most helpful, plus Itachi is down, so Itachi can't help either, and nothing Sasuke. Kakazu infuses his Earth chakra into it, and eventually the Earth chakra will make a large dome around the Rasengan. So, Kakazu would nod as he falls over unconscious. My neck just popped. But, yeah. So Naruto almost collapses until Boruto somehow catches the Rasengan using his own chakra. This is Naruto smiles, saying, "Hit him with all you got, Boruto." Boruto will lunge at Ishiki, trying to hit him with the Rasengan, and it does land, but Ishiki is able to absorb some of it. But this is time for Naruto to heal a bit, as Nine Tails says, we need to kill him. Naruto marches behind him with the Rasengan, as he then begins putting all the chakra into it, all the chakra that he has left, as Rasengan gets bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where it's planetary level. Not planetary, it's the size of a planet. And And Boruto and Naruto are basically minuscule to it. But he ends up hitting the Rasengan and with Boruto into Ishiki, and Ishiki is disintegrated in it. Naruto falls over, unconscious, with Boruto almost like kind of landing on Naruto. And Ninetales is healing Naruto slowly, as Ninetales is barely even able to stay conscious. But a few hours pass, and everyone on the good side wakes up. They rush over to see what happened, as they see a giant area where it looks like a meteor just hit them. Not hit them, but hit the earth. And they see Ishiki's leg that's just left there. They see Naruto with a hole in his stomach and barely able to cling on to life. And he woke up. He woke up like an hour ago with Ninetales being able to heal Naruto kind of good, but it's barely able to keep him alive. Now, they bring Naruto to this compound where there's a healing room, and they begin channeling all the chakra they can into the seals, which makes them heal Naruto. Karin ends up putting her hand in Naruto's mouth and makes him bite down, and he's able to heal a bit. Isha will do the same thing, and yeah. Now, Naruto's able to make a full recovery after like a year. It's when he makes a full recovery, but there's a giant scar in the shape like of a hole in his back and stomach. But yeah, now Nagato and him will talk for a bit once Nagato knows that Naruto's fully healed, and Naruto begins altering Nagato's body, and eventually he's able to just make sure he's able to Nagato walk again. Nagato's body is still pretty frail, but he needs to work out a bit. That's really it. And then that's when Naruto looks at Nagato's eyes and tears them out. But he puts his hand on Nagato's face. He uses chakra into it, yin and yang release mainly, using creations of all things for the first time, and is eventually able to make Nagato's eyes appear again, but they're not Rinnegan. They're basic eyes. And that's what Nagato says. Keep those eyes. Curses to me. Kakashi will then lead Naruto to the prison where it's prison. That's when Naruto puts the Rinnegan in his own eyes, saying, "All right, these are mine now. But what do you want to show me?" So Naruto goes down and sees in prison. In prison, he sees that there's Obito, who's just tied upside down, and then they see just Obito's down there. Well, actually, Obito's down there, and so is which Katsuki member will let live today. Obito and Hidan. They're alive. Just about in the prison. Obito realizes his mistakes, and Naruto has a little plan. So Naruto will grab Obito and begin telling in the yang release to his body, and Obito's body goes back to normal. Obito, his one eye was Rinnegan, but it got destroyed. But now his one eye goes restored to a basic Sharingan. It's one Tomoe this time. But Obito's body has no scars on it. It's perfect. And after this past year, Naruto is able to find the corpses of everyone that was reanimated, or everyone that sacrificed for the reanimation. He will find their bones or something. And he's able to bring them back to life using his creation of all things technique. Naruto ended up learning that while he was basically dead. He was barely alive during the 1 year he was recovering. Barely alive. It's basically sorry, he's dead. The sage requested to bless Naruto with the yang release, and that's really it. He didn't need to bless Naruto with anything else. But once Naruto was able to do all that, that was basically all Naruto's chakra that's gone throughout that whole year. But it's not completely gone, it's remains of it restoring slowly. But he restored the whole Uchiha clan, the whole Senju clan that he could find. The Kage are restored. A lot of people are brought back to life. And Naruto is able to combine every other village. And the Hidden Tree Village is the biggest village in history. Or the only village now. It's huge. But it's just one giant home for everyone. It's huge. That's all I want to say about that. Now, the time that Boruto would occur, the whole world's peaceful. No fights. Chunin exams goes normal. And eventually, when Boruto is around 20, Shinobi don't exist anymore. There's no need for it. And Naruto is living on for a very long time. Boruto's 20, Naruto is... He's 17 years older than Boruto. So Boruto's 20, Naruto is 37. So Boruto's 100, Naruto is going to be 117, and Naruto is still going to be alive. Naruto doesn't die till he's 300. He outlived all of his friends, even his children. He dies at 300. That's what I'm going to say. But hope you guys enjoy this What If. It was a movie. Like, subscribe, comment. If you want some What If. Bye.